Good evening, everybody. What's good, motherfuckers?
What's up?
Welcome.
What's up?
One and all, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we're here to do a live stream commentary for the motherfucking Carpenter. And I'm joined by my boys, man. I got just up here. Hey, I pointed the right way the first time. I got Brian from last movie standing. Usually I point this way. I'm like, I got Brian right here. And I'm an idiot. And then right down there, we got Chase from AV Pop Culture. In the Hizzle. How you guys doing?
Good.
It's like storming, raining over here.
Oh, it was storming and raining here. I have my water, my water for the stream.
Yeah, your fake beer. I got my beer. I'm having
out now.
I'm having what is it? Some kind of summer beer, which was already on clearance. So I think it was from last year probably, because they shouldn't be having a summer beer on clearance in May. But whatever. It was $8 for some Allagash. So
especially not in Maine.
No, look at that. Yeah, it's not. We haven't even
look at that.
There we go. I got my koozie. Represent. I'm gonna try to turn it so that the camera can see that at all times when I'm drinking it. There we go.
I don't know where mine is. There's so much. If you could see off screen the pile of mess that's
bro.
Right
I had to clean it. Like as we were getting, I'm like scooting everything over my desk. I'm like cramped. I feel like.
No, it's a really good thing that the camera's pointing this way, so you guys can't see my sex swing over there. That thing needs to get cleaned. It's pretty gnarly. Yeah. I got my whole dildo collection on a rack on the wall over there.
I want to know is, do you have like a Burt Reynolds style like carpet for that fireplace?
Dude, I need like a fake. So my kids have like my brother's like into sloths. It's like a weird generational thing. Sorry guys, I'm not talking about movies right now to the people viewing. But my kids, like, it's a weird generational thing. I don't know. It's like my younger brother's about your age, actually, Brian. He's a couple years younger than me. So he's not tremendously younger, but he's on that cusp of this generation thing. And like, they're into sloths. I find that like people slightly younger than me are really into sloths.
I find people way younger than me are really into sloths.
Really?
That's
he's
weird.
I mean, he might be younger than you by like 1 or 2 years, but he's like into sloths. His wife is into sloths. She got him like a thing, like a ticket to go like meet and greet a fucking sloth. Like you got to shake hands with a sloth and maybe feed it some berries and leaves and shit. I understand they eat a lot of like vegetation, leaves, berries and shit like that. But
was he there a long time?
I don't know.
I can just picture visiting a sloth would be very slow.
Yeah, I don't think the sloth moved really quick, which is nice because then you don't really have to worry about the sloth suddenly turning on you. Like that's an animal that like, you're hanging out with like one of like Siegfried and Roy's tigers. That's kind of cool until it decides to eat your face. And then you don't even know what happens and your face is just off and gone and you're dead. But with a sloth, if he turns on you, you kind of see it coming. Like he'll start raising his paw or whatever. And you'll just be like, all right, I got a minute. It'll be like Sonic in those movies. But at any rate, they get my kids sloth shit. Like Uncle Cameron gets my kids sloth shit like all the time. Like birthdays, Christmases, International Sloth Day. That's a thing apparently. I didn't know, but
there's an International Everything Day.
There's an International Everything Day. And so they got my kids one year, they got my kids like a sloth, but it's like a fake. It looks like a bearskin rug, but it's a sloth. So like I keep joking that I'm gonna put it down in front of this fucking fireplace. So instead of like a bearskin rug, like making love on a bearskin rug, like I'm gonna do my wife on a sloth skin, it's not a real sloth skin, right? It's like he loves sloths. He's not going to give me a real sloth skin. It was real.
You got to do the full pose though, the whole bird.
Yeah, the whole pose. Shirt off, everything.
And I do got a little bit of like Burt Reynolds chest hair on there too.
Oh God. Dude.
Which everybody would say that's a detriment to you dating. Like back 20 years ago, like before I was married and I didn't worry about that kind of thing. People would be like, "Oh, you're never going to be able to like, the women are not going to like that." I'm like, "Shh, you don't know anything." Because this thing, like women all say, like, "I don't want a guy with like chest hair and shit." I'm like, give me 1 week and then I'm like a teddy bear. They love this shit. They don't want me to shave it off. I'd be asking girls like, "Yo, do you want me to like? I could just," and no, my wife is like, "Dude, leave it." Like I used to shave it for bodybuilding, obviously.
Yeah.
She's like, "Dude, I'd rather you be hairy." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Because I got a little bit of like that Burt Reynolds thing going. Like I gotta shave my neck or it would connect.
I was watching one of the 88 films they sent me. It was a French film called Private Club. Whole movie's nothing but sex. It should be called Taxi Club Confessionals.
Nice.
But there was a scene where the guy's like he's got this girl, he's bringing her down, all romantic. Man, her bush was like that big, just sitting there. I'm like, George of the Jungle couldn't get through that motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm not a big fan.
I grew up 80s, the strip. It was like, by the time I was really paying attention, it was the strip.
Yeah.
Like or the high and tight.
I think you got to control that. You know what I mean? Like if you keep it landscaped, it's like I don't need to go like burn all of the grass out of my lawn and like lay down sand. But I do. What I do want to do is take a hedger. I want to keep it, keep the walkway clean. I want to mow. I want to keep it at a tidy length. So when people come upon my lawn, they're like, "Oh, dude, like this guy takes care of his shit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he probably doesn't have termites and ticks and all this other shit. Like you're gonna think good things about the cleanliness of just my general living when you come upon my lawn. You're like, "Oh, look, he's pretty good." Like that's pussy to me. That's a metaphor for a vagina.
The nice, clean, tight trim and tan lines. Then you knew.
Yeah, I'm definitely a tan lines guy too.
When you were when I was a kid with all those raunchy comedies, like that's when you knew you were getting to see something you weren't supposed to be seeing. When it came down the tan lines, then the strip, like they're are the high and tight, as I call it, keeping it clean. That's
tan lines were always nice because it was like a little bit of like, oh, somebody's letting me in on a secret. You know what I mean? It's like when someone tells you a secret that you ain't supposed to know. You're like, ooh, the tan lines. Like this is not something that's normally out there for the sun to shine on. Like I'm getting to see this, but yeah, I like the tan lines.
Speaking of like hard bodies, I'm more into like one piece suits too, like sexy one pieces than just normal two tops.
Well, growing up going to Daytona Beach all the time, there was always a lot of especially in the 80s, there was a lot of one piece and then one piece thongs came.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So
that's an interesting thing. That's like I don't want you to see my lower back, but you can see my whole ass hanging out. That's just a strange. I find that bathing suits these days, like my wife likes to watch a lot of reality TV, and a lot of reality TV involves like beaches and resorts and such, so the people are always wearing their bathing suits, and that's all on purpose. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, like they do that on purpose so that all the dudes are like rippling abs and shit. So like when women are watching, they're like, oh, the dudes are looking good. They got their chests out and shit. And when dudes are watching, then the women's got their booties out and shit. And I've noticed that they wear the bathing suits. It's almost like a normal amount of like fabric in the back. It's not like a G-string or something where there's just no fabric in the back, or like a thong where there's like very little fabric. It's like a normal amount of fabric, but they hike it up so high that it's basically essentially like a thong because it's just up their ass. But then it's like this large triangle of their back is covered by the fabric that would normally have covered their cheeks. And I just found that so weird to look at because
I find that weird too, like especially like working with models and stuff. Like I don't understand like the whole, it's a normal bathing suit, but it's lifted so high and the triangle is above your ass.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get that point.
Yeah, the triangle is in the small of the back, which made no sense to me. Let me ask you a professional question. This is a work-related question. How do you hide your erection when you're working with models and such? What do you do like a standard tuck, or is there something that you know from the industry that like normal schmoes don't know about hiding your boner? How do you hide your boner in a professional environment where people should not see that you're sexually aroused?
I keep a picture of my grandmother in my head constantly.
Grandma? Yeah.
I'm actually very professional. I said that part doesn't even cross my mind.
You strike me as a very professional dude.
Yeah, dude. If I wasn't, I would be like.
Also, it's very much like people have asked me that, like filming, like nude scenes and sex scenes. Like after the first couple of minutes, everybody's over it, and it's just like, let's just.
I agree with that kind of nudity. When I was in art school, I used to draw naked people all the time, and like dudes would be like, "Yo, you get to draw like naked girls like every day." I'm like, yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's not really like hot or sexy. It's actually kind of like yuck. You just look at a human body all the time, and it's not in like. It's like when you look at a magazine or you look on the internet, and they're like perfectly positioned on Instagram where they're like twisted a certain way and everything's perfect. But I'm like, it's not like that in real life, you know? I mean,
when I'm on set, like I'm moving lights. I'm worried about everything else except that. And
it wasn't a serious question to begin with. It was really just for the.
I was trying to think of a sarcastic answer, and I just couldn't think of one. That's why I went to my grandmother.
Yeah. Actually, I've got one of those old-fashioned cars that has the cigarette lighter in it, and I just press that to my testicles before I clock in. No erection after that, you know.
So Brian, you don't have this yet?
Like no, it's literally in the mail. Like it's supposed to, because I ordered it at the halfway to Black Friday sale.
Look how
I ordered this in 2023.
Yeah, we can't do the cool picture with
our spot gloss.
Hey, just hold your hand up. A couple. Here, hold your hand up, and we'll Photoshop one in your hand.
Yeah, look, it's literally in Dallas. It'll be here tomorrow. Arrives tomorrow.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait one more day. I could have had it in my hand.
Do it.
It's only been like 2 months, so.
Yeah, you have a Monday thing too, so.
I have a Monday thing?
Yeah, you have Monday series.
Don't you do a live stream on Monday?
Oh no, they did that tonight, actually.
Oh, I was trying to respect your Monday.
Well, here's the thing. So Jordan does Scary Sundays, but it's mostly Mondays because nobody can do it. But he decided to do it on Sunday today. And he texted me. He goes, "Hey, can you do it at 8:30?" And I was like, "No, I'm on another stream. Sorry."
He just did a stream Friday night too, right? For his 1,000 subscriber.
No, didn't he do that Friday?
Yeah, that's what I said. Friday night.
I missed everybody's. Like Fridays, I missed his. I missed yours.
Yeah, I know. One year anniversary. Live watching my movie Dark Roads. People are jamming, having a good time, and there's no
I went back to the replay. Because I literally saw it. Dude, I just woke up my sleep schedule. I took a nap this afternoon because my sleep schedule was so messed up. Like it's so messed up.
All these people. Jason came in. Ken came in.
Ken's cooler than me.
Who isn't?
What is on your shirt, Jason? I'm sorry. I'm kind of distracted by the.
Here, you're distracted by my shirt. My oldest daughter picked this one out for me.
It's all in the.
That's Jack Burton.
I see it now. Okay, it's the guy from
Jack Burton and David Lopan.
Yeah,
I got my alter ego.
Yeah. Is that Donald Duck?
Yep.
Dude, I like Donald Duck. I think I've been able to appreciate Donald Duck more as I've gotten older. I just appreciate what a shithead he is. Like he's just such a relentless shithead to Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And I identify with him. Like fuck them kids for having them rhyming names. Those are some stupid ass names. I'd fuck with them kids too.
Bro, if you go back and look at any of the old cartoons like that back in the day, it's like none of that can get made today. None of that.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that shit can't get made today.
Do you think this movie, The Carpenter, could get made today?
I actually think that maybe it could. I think there's actually, and this is something that maybe might serve as a good segue and introduction to some of kind of like what I think when I watch the movie. But I think we've got a female protagonist of The Carpenter. We have a lot of like male characters that she interacts with almost exclusively, with the exception of her sister and the mistress, the college-aged mistress of her husband. But she mostly interacts with all these dudes: the carpenter himself, the husband, the doctor at the psychiatric hospital, all of the different douchebag construction workers and shit like that, contractors on her house. And it's like I don't know. I think there might be, with the right kind of viewing, there might be some like solidly feminist readings of the film here, where like she's sort of coming into her, like taking her power, like becoming powerful and kind of exerting or breaking free of the dominance of the male characters. So
but then they're gonna get the other side that says that this guy has to come like Deus Ex Machina style down to save her.
In a way, yeah. But then, she casts off his yoke at the end of the film, of course, because, she can't remain with the carpenter. She has to break free, because at the end of the day, like, he winds up kind of threatening her personal liberty and freedom as well, because, he doesn't want her to have that relationship with the sister. He becomes essentially as controlling as some of the other men that have dominated her in the first part of the film. So I you might even turn that around by her saying like, fuck it, fuck the patriarchy, I'm going to burn it down literally while dragging my sister out by her ankles or whatever. It's, you know, fuck the patriarchy, except, you know, I'm a dude with penis and balls, so I kind of like the patriarchy. I'm sorry. Tell my kids, I'm like, this is a fucking patriarchy. And they're like, shut up, Dad.
You made it through that whole thing without using the term phallic. I applaud you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, power tools are in and of themselves phallic. Yeah. You can see it's a literal drill. I mean, what do you do with a lady on a Friday night? You fucking take her home and drill her. You know what I'm saying? I think they knew exactly what, you know, you take that girl home and you fucking drill her. So, I mean, the idea is that you're inserting something into someone and you're fucking them up good. You're rerouting their insides. And that is what the Carpenter does in this particular motion picture.
He does indeed.
So, anything else that you guys think maybe might be nice for a hypothetical listener of this particular episode to keep in mind before watching the Carpenter? Any other way to kind of tee this up for them?
Well, I don't think it really tees it up, but I did find an interesting bit of trivia that I did not realize until Wings Hauser passed, and that is that he is Cole Hauser's father, Rip, on Yellowstone. I don't know why I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, man, that would probably tie a lot of people to him that maybe otherwise wouldn't watch his movies at this point. Like,
yeah, it's pretty wild. Like, I don't think nowadays Wings gets a lot of, but I mean, he was like all over the place, like circa 88, you know, I mean, he was showing up all over. I feel like, you know, he had Tough Guys Don't Dance for another, I think that was like just before he made this. And that was another, like, I mean, he's understated in this performance compared to Tough Guys Don't Dance. He was
and you got Vice Squad that just came out on 4K. That's him. And then somebody, I think it was was talking about Mutant, which looks really good. I haven't seen Mutant. It's like an 80s small town horror movie. Just heard about that today, as a matter of fact. I hadn't seen it. It's on Tubi.
You know what I know him the most from growing up?
What's that?
Beastmaster 2. He was the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I saw him like, why does he look familiar? And I'm like, because in he's way thinner in this. Beastmaster, he was a little fuller in the face, and his face is like half covered with that thing half the movie. But yeah, that's what I grew up knowing him from.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Hell yeah. It's wild when you recognize somebody like that. Like you watch shit as a little kid, you're not thinking like, oh yeah, that's Wings Hauser. But then you see some shit later as an adult, you're like, that's the motherfucker from that movie. That fucking I recognize that motherfucker. I don't even know his name. Wings Hauser, huh?
And can we talk real fast? We'll talk about this when we actually watch the movie, but how much hotter that college girl was than her husband?
Bro, and the picture of her that I used for the fair use cover that I'm about to put up, you guys in the live stream, live chat, keep watching because the picture I use of her is nice. Nice. I got comments on their sex scene though, like the sex scene between the husband and the girl, that blonde girl. It's like they're doing too much side to side and not enough up and down. Like I don't know if somebody like on set coached them or whatever. Like this is not.
They're like rolling over.
You got to go in and out. It's thrusting, baby. If you go just side to side, then you know you're not doing anything with the penis. You got to get the penis. You know, I hate to sound all patriarchal as we're about to watch this feminist masterpiece, but you got to get. It's about the penis. At least for me.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I don't understand why he was cheating on because the wife is hot in this movie.
She's kind of.
She's weird, but she's crazy. But
I do think
sexy.
I do think that
Beetlejuice.
I don't have a reasonable answer to that question. Actually.
We're about to start a watch along, Beetlejuice.
I don't.
Dude, they're like, I tuned in to watch this movie. What are you guys talking about?
I'm trying to watch a movie. We all shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's probably what a lot of people are thinking right now. But I think they try to establish at the beginning that she's kind of like, you know, maybe not all there, so that we will have this unreliable narrator, and then we will wonder about like, what are we watching? Are we seeing dream sequences? Like a lot of the film language to me, and I'll point it out when it happens, but like she'll wake up and you know, they'll have the staging kind of lit with that sort of like moonlight, that blue kind of nighttime. They use a lot of that language in like the Friday the 13th movie, or not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, when they, somebody wakes up and they're in the dream and Freddy's going to get them, but it's like they're waking up into the, so it's hard to tell, is she dreaming, is she not dreaming? I guess we'll see. Did we lose Brian?
Did we lose Brian? We lost Brian.
Might have lost
his
Brian.
Plug. Just got B. There he
is.
No,
I was just changing it to be more mood lighting in here for the movie.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Shit in here.
Yeah. Is that light the one that's behind you, kind of over your left shoulder? Is that, or maybe that's your right shoulder? But that one? Is that the light over your the kitchen, like the?
Yeah, I put some like little IKEA thing. It feels way brighter in here than what it's actually very like muted in here, but it's more from mood lighting up at the top.
My wife yells at me because we have like a, I don't know, it's like a custom, it's like one of the big, like, it's a big, we just have a big stove, right? It's like a custom thing. And it has like, I like the light above it, in the vent hood or whatever. Like, I really like that light, and it's adjustable. So you can like sort of, it's not like all or nothing. It's like you can kind of get it in the middle there. And I leave that thing on all the time. She's like, it's not a nightlight. I'm like, well, it could be. I fucking stove. Like, if I leave it on at night, is it not a nightlight? And she's like, no, motherfucker. Like, I'm like, I'm the one who changes the light bulbs in that thing when they burn out. So just, let me do my thing.
Let me have this.
Yeah, let me have this. And if it's electricity, no, I cannot have this. I have no dominion over the electricity in this house. Like, I'll leave a light on and do like, and I'm talking about like a little lamp where you can kind of like, it's got the dial, so you can sort of like turn it on a little bit, just so like it's not completely pitch dark in the room when I come upstairs later on, and I'm not like stepping on like kids' toys and shit. And she's like, you could just turn that on. I'm like, yeah, I'd have to step on 8 different Legos before I get to that part of the room because it's fucking pitch dark. And if I just leave this tiny little bit of electricity on, then I can see and I don't bump into shit, and I'm not saying the F word at midnight and waking you up and waking them up and so, but she still doesn't see my point. She's just like, turn them off when you leave. I'm like,
you need like the motion control lights throughout the house.
Yeah. I need the clapper. In the 80s, I thought that thing was so cool. You just, the lights would spring to life. And I was telling my parents back then, 8-year-old me, circa 1989, I'm like, let's get that shit. My parents
every daytime commercial was either the clapper, Chia Pet, or Life Alert, or something like. If
I never had a Chia Pet either, and that's probably why I'm so fucked up now. I never had a Chia Pet, and that's why I smoke crack.
That's it. Chia.
Blame the parents. Are you guys ready to watch the movie?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah,
let's do it. I have here, for those at home or for anybody listening back to this, if you're going to watch on your own television. And you want to listen to this kind of in the background as an audio commentary or whatever. If you've popped the Blu-ray in, we're gonna get this bitch started. We're gonna do a little countdown. Are you gentlemen ready?
We're ready.
Okay, let's do 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Here is the Carpenter.
Your quality is so much better than mine.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I'm using the same thing. I love this opening. I absolutely love this opening.
I like to imagine that sawdust is actually like cocaine because it's the 80s. Like, I just like to imagine that they're just throwing it all over and the lights catching it perfectly.
It's like the most cinematic, like, boring thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. But it's really actually quite nice to watch. Like, I think the composition is nice. The like really high contrast lighting. Can't see any of the background, but you've got this like really bright light on the board and the guy's arm. I dig it.
They're just like more dust, more dust, more dust.
It's not as completely easy to do as you think, though, to not see anything else all around it and have that so well lit.
Yeah, I feel that. I think it is quite nice looking. Old Wings Hauser. And I mean, part of our reason for doing this, people, part of the reason we chose this film to do a live commentary for is because we did recently lose Wings Hauser. This is kind of our way of celebrating his life and his contribution to art cinema.
Hey, Dave Franco.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Not that one, but
I'm surprised they didn't do the credits over like the whole.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Like he should
they're
be
trying to
building more
stretch
shit.
out this 86-minute runtime here.
Yeah.
It's not a real long movie.
Is this a 4K rest? Is this a 4K restoration?
I believe so. Let me look at the disc. Although I don't have my glasses on, so Chase might have a better time. Yeah, I can't read
It's
any.
so tiny, right?
Because the quality of it was really good.
Yeah, I would say the quality of this was good.
It's
I
a
rewatched
2K.
it.
It's a 2K from the Elements, which means they didn't have all the best that they could get.
Well, you guys notice when you watch this, there are the scenes where the quality takes a nosedive, and that's usually the really gory parts where people's heads are exploding or they're getting drilled through the throat or something. And I think I remember either reading or watching on one of the commentaries that those scenes were spliced in from like a tape master or something like that, where the stuff that we're watching now, a lot higher quality.
But even I noticed
from like an element, like a
when I did a review on it, like even the stuff, there's some good stuff. You can see the film's got some scratches, some burns, some holes.
Yeah.
Which means if they Vinegar Syndrome did all they could do to restore it, and if it's still there, there was nothing that could be done to it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they left it. In the fact that they left it in there instead of trying to digitally, remove it.
Yeah.
I think it adds to it. That's what I said on my for some reason, it just adds to the vibe on a movie like this.
Yeah, same thing with Iced. Like I heard some people complain about the quality of Iced, but I thought, that's just kind of like part of the kitsch to me.
Yeah.
Ice was different. Ice was literally a tape. Like there was no other way to save that.
At the beginning of this movie, did you guys think, like, I actually thought, she's cutting up his suit because she's like mad at him. Probably she knows that he's been fucking around. But like the look on her face and the way that she cut it in such like an organized, like almost like focused way. Like she wasn't like Carrie Underwood, like trashing his Ford truck or whatever. Like she was like methodically cutting the thing at like geometric angles and shit. I thought she was like some kind of artist, like the way
that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I was like, what is she doing? Is this some kind of art project? It's avant-garde, because the way the room was set as well, I think is a very important kind of setup to this film. Like she's dressed in a pant or a skirt suit. She looked very professional. Hair's very pulled back, very sterile. But the room that she was in too, in their apartment or whatever, was very like that, like sort of 80s modern look where everything is like clean lines. There's not a lot of like decoration. Everything's just real clean and very modern, kind of Art Deco looking. And the movie sort of like when they go by the house, they get away from that. It's complete opposite. It's like this rustic house that needs to be repaired in the middle of nowhere. But like they start out their life, they're like this yuppie couple, and she's some weird artsy type that's cutting up a suit as like a performance piece, or I don't know what it was, but
yeah, like I just think because then it immediately cuts to her being treated back here in the hospital again. I mean, she's definitely having mental health issues, and I guess like that's supposed to be like a relapse because she's like so happy, like look what I did, and he's like, you're crazy as shit.
It doesn't seem like the passionate, like fuck you, I caught you, I saw the text, you were fucking that bitch, and she just cutting up and like breaking all his shit.
She was like, look what I did.
Yeah, like, look what I did to your $1,000 suit. Yeah. And it does seem like, they want to, I think they want to establish her as a non-reliable narrator. She's an unreliable narrator. So watching everything kind of through her experience, we don't know if she's dreaming, is she on psychiatric medication, or is she not on psychiatric medication, having this experience that's not really, real within the diegesis. But I think it's like, they also want to show that like these guys sort of have this dominion over her, like her husband's dressing her. The doctor is, look at that creepy shit. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Just sticking her head out and then just going right back, just silently peeking in. And so it's like, was that even real? The husband didn't seem to notice that. Like, what is that? That's exorcist looking shit right there. And
I never thought of, oh my God, I never thought of that till just now. Is that real? Is she in that room by her? Because nobody else pays attention to the other woman in the room.
No, and the doctor comes in with a chainsaw. That certainly is not real. They wouldn't let him bring a chainsaw into the psychiatric ward. I mean, they won't let you bring a fucking pen in there, right? They're not going to let you bring a chainsaw in. So like obviously that was part of her, you know, psychosis or a dream or something like that.
Yeah, and then like, well, here
look at him checking out the other nurses. Look at that slide.
Yeah, I know. What a piece of shit.
I can't hear it. So
let me try turning it up a little bit because I want to have a little bit of volume.
Yeah. This is where he's like, she's worried that she's not well, and he's like, no, you're good. You're just dreaming about me killing you with a chainsaw, or imagining it.
I'm not hearing it either.
And then that chick is bleeding to death right there, and everybody's like,
like everyone's just totally normal that she's just bleeding out of her fucking neck. It's interesting.
This movie definitely gave me like Shining vibes.
A squeaking chair going on.
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting comment that you made about the Shining vibes, and because I think you mentioned that to me like I don't know a couple weeks ago, and I remembered today. I was like, oh, I need to ask Brian about that because I totally want to hear your take on that. If now is not the time, later in the movie's cool, but I definitely want to tee you up to hear your take on this movie versus The Shining, compare and contrast. I want to hear your brain go to work because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's very like, Straw Dogs and
it definitely has some of that.
Especially with the workers. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, then they almost went full Straw Dogs on that girl, or at least one.
Yeah, they did.
They almost went full Straw Dogs on her ass. But luckily the Carpenter came and went Sam Peckinpah on him. I am not sure why I'm not getting any volume on this, but I am not hearing any volume on this either.
Okay, so that's me. That's not just me. Okay.
It's not just you. Like I cranked the volume all the way up on the source and I got nothing. But I'm also kind of reticent to fuck with the volume too much just because right now our audio is okay. And
I think I started to hear something.
Can y'all hear? Because I turned the volume up on mine a little bit. But I don't know if it's echoey.
It's not super echoey. I'm just not sure if that's the movie or not.
Heard something for a second.
Heard something.
Yeah, this is the movie.
Okay. Well, let's keep your volume up.
Yeah, I'll just kind of leave it low, and you can tell me if it's too much or too.
Yeah.
This is a really nice house that they're moving into, by the way. Like
that is nice.
It's like I don't know what to do with you, so I'm just gonna buy a house and let you put it together while I'm cheating on you.
It seemed like he almost wanted to just let's move her out of the city and to the country. And at first you think he's doing it for maybe for her mental recovery. She'll have some, nature and fresh air and stuff like that. But then you almost feel like he's trying to just kind of hide her away. Like he'll live his life in the city. He'll check in on her sometimes. But if she's tucked away in this house, then at least she's out of his hair when he's trying to fuck his students.
I also think part of me is the husband's such a douchebag. I could totally see him okay, she's gonna finish the house, and then when she's done, I'm gonna put her back in the hospital, divorce her, and then the house will be ready for me and my new chicks.
Yeah.
Just make her do all the work.
You know what's funny, Brian? I just watched What Lies Beneath last night, and now I'm getting a little bit of those vibes from this movie because there's this stuff that happened in their past. They moved to this house that's out here in the country, different kind of country, but a rural type house. She's kind of losing her mind. Is she seeing things? Is she crazy? What's going on? The husband is a professor, cheating, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's ready to give it to him, and he's like, "No, just take your pills, go to bed."
Yeah. Take your sleeping pills, bitch, so I can jack off. I mean, but she definitely wore the backless, I don't know, pajamas. I don't know what the fuck that is. I wouldn't call it a negligee. It's not quite lingerie, but it's totally backless. And 100% that is for the semen.
Mm-hmm.
That's specifically to keep semen off of your clothing. while still allowing him to, you know, hit it from the back and then shit it all over you.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. And that's usually actually how things go. When I say something like that, everyone's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this guy? So she wakes up, and obviously it's like, okay, it's the middle of the night. Maybe her medications are, because I thought, okay, psychiatric medication, that's fucking with her sleep. It's causing insomnia. It's not at all uncommon. The husband won't wake up. So it's like, is she in a dream? Like, he's almost the one drugged, because she's like shaking it.
This is what makes me go back to what lies beneath. Is she like mentally unstable and imagining this whole thing? Is she dreaming? Like, that's what I kept thinking of when I watched this movie, and then last night after watching that, I'm really thinking it watching back here.
I would almost certainly conclude that nearly all of this movie was false, unless there weren't actual corpses in the film. You know, like, people die, and there's material evidence, as they would say in a court of law, that some crimes occurred, because, you know, there are corpses later in the film. Maybe not the first couple of kills, because you're like, well, maybe she imagined it, because there's no evidence of the guy getting his arms chopped off, except for like one little drop of blood that could have been wine. But I'm definitely thinking, like, by the end of the film, when the bodies really start piling up and like other characters start finding them, you're like, maybe she's like really deep in her psychosis to the point where like she's imagining other people's reactions to the fake bodies. But I don't know. I think it's tough to get a bead on this film, and it's almost like an art film in that sense, in that like we really like linger on some of these, you know, shots and like the stuff in between the subject and the camera that's out of focus. I mean, we really like, I don't know, there's a couple funny moments in this movie that are like, I don't know if they're intentionally funny or not, but it almost feels like an art film, like partially. Like, it's got a little bit of like art film DNA in it.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. And I love how like everything like of her walking down the stairs and then that was shot. It just looks it looked good, and they let shots linger, where shots today when our films don't linger, they cut really fast.
Just getting the job done, man.
Now, do you have any idea what time it is?
Well, job ain't done till it's done.
I like that. Job ain't done till it's done. And he just fucking blasts a rat.
What's a nail gun? You know,
that's good foreshadowing.
Yeah, with that, yeah.
You know, because later in the movie, that's going to get used on more than a rat.
Perhaps I'd probably be a lot cleaner.
I guess so.
Now, he looks like he just did a couple of lines of Colombian Bam Bam before this scene.
What is surprise?
Like, oh, he's like, rap.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That powder in the beginning was way too fine to be sawdust. It's super coarse, right? Like, I mean, you guys know, saw, like you drill, you cut like with a saw like that, and you get some really coarse dust, and that was a very fine dust. So I'm thinking it was cocaine for sure.
And he's all proper with his pipe.
Yeah,
he doesn't pull out a cigarette; he pulls out a pipe.
Yeah, I like it. He pulls out the pipe later too, I think, and I just thought it was funny.
Well, see, I guess then there's interesting things like this, because she's exited the room. So if it was all in her imagination, would we still be seeing it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, if she exits the room, like, we really shouldn't be seeing something that she's not experiencing, because, you know, that sort of objectifies it. It makes it part of this objective reality, because we're seeing it as the viewer versus just following the narrator through, you know, the protagonist through her experiences. But I agree, like, the wife is not, I mean, she's, besides cutting up his suits, like, what is her offense, really? You know, like,
they only imply that she's like had these problems, and because she says something about being in and out and going back to the hospital for treatment. So like, you only get this kind of like nebulous, she's been treated for, you know, kind of mental instability for a while.
Yeah.
And just that whole scene right here where she's like, can I have some money to go shopping? And he's like, just finish the house first.
Yeah.
Like he's talking to his teenage daughter or something.
Yeah. So that sort of also implies that theme that I was mentioning earlier, that, you know, obviously the man has complete fiscal dominion over her. I mean, she has to ask him for money, and then he just says, "Nope, sorry, bitch," and just leaves. And she's completely at his mercy, right? Like she wants to shop. Like, I mean, it could be something frivolous, like I'm just gonna go buy clothes and I'm just gonna cut them up anyway. And he's like, "No, I don't want to give you $1,000 to go buy fucking clothes you're gonna cut up anyway." Because that's what I would say. Like, not even trying to control my woman. I'd just be like, "Yo, I'm not gonna give you $1,000 to go buy dresses you're gonna cut up in fucking 4 weeks." But like, if she needs meds, it's like, yeah, you need to go to the CVS and here's $50 so you can get your psych meds, because I don't want to wake up after you've cut my dick off.
Well, see, that's why I think they thought the cutting up the suit and acting crazy happy about it, going back in those visions of the chainsaw doctor and all this, and just the, like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue of like being back in the hospital, should I stay here, all this kind of stuff. I felt like they thought that was enough exposition to establish that he almost has to be a caregiver for her and say, take your pills, no, you can't shop, you know, like all this kind of stuff. But was it enough?
Yeah. I think it definitely does the trick of making me wonder throughout the film, especially as more fantastic things begin to occur. Like, you know, what am I really watching? Like, you know, what's the nature of this narrative? It's definitely enough to make me wonder, like, how much of this is occurring inside her brain? Is this thing like a Fight Club thing where it's like her having this, you know, sort of imagining this this other character when it's really her doing the murders and stuff all along? Or is, you know, because I'm trying to rationalize some way. You know, the third time I've watched this film, I'm trying to rationalize some way that the murders can be real, and yet the character of the Carpenter might be this mental, you know, figure or manifestation of a, you know, personality or something in her head. So I'm thinking, you know, Fight Club or other such stuff. And, you know, it's interesting. That's why I was really interested to hear like what Brian thought about, because, you know, I think The Shining has a similar kind of vibe, like how much of this is the hotel versus
the house,
yeah, versus like Jack is just losing his shit, or, you know what I mean?
That shot of him in the window always reminded me of the Poltergeist. Remember when the construction workers would like come in the window and like, he'd make food for them? Let's get into this baddie coming out.
I know.
Though, like in this guy, like this is my third watch too, and I was like, he comes off as a dick, but like we don't know. Like it's established that maybe he's been having to deal with a lot of issues with his wife for a while, and like when she called him earlier, he looks like he is like a bull of sorts at like the end of his rope. Like, is she like, just please God, give me a break?
Technological lifestyle.
You can understand that. Like I don't know. I feel like
Greetings. Don't forget, Michaelson.
You're right that he has to be kind of a caretaker to her. I mean, you're correct in that, you know, people with psychiatric issues, oftentimes the spouse. Here's this part I was talking about. Like, there's no like thrusting. They're just going side to side, like
just rolling.
Do you think he's like? It's like alligator fuckhouse. I'm just gonna get my dick in, wrap my legs around you, and we're just gonna go side to side like when the alligator gets you and he starts doing the death roll. I mean,
but see, like Brian, like even that right there in What Lies Beneath, you know, it's implied that Michelle Pfeiffer's character has had these issues. She wrapped her car around the pole. She's pining away for her dead husband. She's got the separation anxiety from her daughter, and he's been having to deal with it for a while. He even says it in the movie. He's like, you were basically batshit crazy there for about a year. And
well, I feel like in that movie she had a reason. This one she doesn't. She's, at least in What Lies Beneath, she's more terrified the whole time. In this movie she's just going along with it in like a kind of creepy, like, oh, there's a guy in my house working at 2 a.m. That's normal. He's nice. Where, you know, Michelle Pfeiffer would be running out the freaking house.
I think at the point where he comes to her rescue here shortly, we're about to see the scene. When he comes to her rescue, I think he does establish a little trust. Like, oh, this guy's looking out for me, even if it's in like a grisly fashion. He does saved me at a time when, you know, I was very almost sexually assaulted. I think he kind of earns her trust here in this coming scene. Whereas before, if you wake up in the middle of the night, and you go down to your basement, and there's some fucking strange dude you've never met, and he's just putting nails in your wall. It's like, hey, I'm just, you know, job's not done till it's done, and even if it's 3 a.m., I mean, I'm fucking in your basement, pounding nails and waking you up. You know, that's a little bit more like you'd go running. You'd be like, all right, I'm calling the cops. But when the guy saves you from sexual assault, possibly worse, I think then you're like, all right, cool. We're cool now because you've done me a great service, and I appreciate you. So after this, you can kind of see, oh, he's welcome here now because he's gonna cut somebody's arms off and kill them when they try to do something bad to me. So
I think it's funny how that guy's hairstyle is back in his fashion.
I fucking love that guy's mullet.
Like baseball players, that's like the thing now.
I that is one of the few things I respect about baseball is the dudes are like, I'll just fucking do whatever I want with my hair. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't have to try to get women. I fucking hit home runs. Or like,
I'm a baseball player.
I'm in the MLB, bitch. Like, I don't fucking. I'll grow a rat tail down between my shoulder blades. I don't care. I live in Pensacola. You know, like, I love it. It goes great with a jacket. I'm actually quite surprised that she's not throwing her clothing off and pulling his dick out of his pants right now with that. Like, look at that.
Look at that mane.
Fucking sexual tyrannosaurus.
I didn't ever think her reaction to all this seemed odd to me for part of it. Like were you kind of halfway interested for a hot second, and then like you're also panicked? Don't know. It's like it was a weird kind of thing.
Yeah, it was hard to tell like whether she was receptive or not until he makes this move, and then she's she's kind of clear about like, hey, don't, you know.
Yeah, then it's pretty obvious, but like till then, I'm thinking this guy. Again, almost the same reaction that she had the guy in the basement in the middle of the night. It's like this guy just barges in drunk, and you're kind of like,
yeah.
Little weird, but okay. Happens all the time.
Well, it's like she responds in a very normal way to him kind of, you know, assaulting her, essentially, or beginning to assault her. But then she reacts in a very abnormal way to watching him get, like, absolutely taken apart right here. Like, you would be shitting your pants if you just watched a guy get both his arms cut off.
And he's not screaming. He's not screaming at all.
He's not screaming. He's just watching it. He's not trying to move. Like the first arm starts to get cut, he just watches it get cut off, and then he hangs around to watch the other one.
Like,
and he's just sitting there, like doesn't know what to do. Like
still standing. You know, he's lost a pretty good bit of blood out of the brachial arteries of both arms at this point. You've got about 5 minutes from the point in time that the brachial artery is like completely opened up to like passing out and dying. So you can see he's like, okay, I'm starting to pass. I've lost enough blood now that I can't believe he's still on his feet though. You know, it's like took him too long to fall over. If we're talking about a real physiological response to the opening up of those arteries.
She's like, okay, yeah, it deserved him to be cut to pieces.
Yeah, she just goes to bed. Like, totally normal response to some strange dude trying to forcibly penetrate her. But when the same strange dude gets cut to pieces and dies in front of her, she's like, all right, I think I'm tired now.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go to bed. Like, this ambience kicking in.
Enough excitement for the night.
I just want to know how long that extension cord was. He just comes out ready to move around the house.
Yeah,
he really does. Yeah.
Have y'all noticed? You see it more in the day, but like the blood stains on the pillars on the house at the beginning.
Yeah, dude, I noticed that today. I didn't notice that until I watched it the third time. I watched it for a third time today, and I noticed like it looks like a little splatter of blood going up the front of the house. It's cool.
It's like that's the only part that it's on. It's just the pillars, and it's almost like enter here for your death kind of a thing.
It really does kind of look like, and there's that they have sort of a post and lintel system going here where it's like, you know, you've got the two columns, those are your posts, and then there's that, you know, the flat part of the lintel part, and there's almost like a little bit of red spray up the middle of that thing that actually they showed earlier in this the film when they kind of first show the house. And I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, this is some kind of like grim, you know, sort of visual metaphor for like what lies within the house. subtle warning, like you said.
Yeah.
But later, like, don't they say that like he killed people there or something? Like, is it supposed to still be blood from all that time ago or whatever? Like,
yeah, maybe.
And
but
this part, like, that all just happened.
Yeah.
Like, just happened, and that's all gone, cleaned up, all that kind of stuff, like you were saying earlier. This is when it's like, wait, did she imagine / dream all that?
The way she went back to sleep had me convinced until he found the spot. And then he finds a bottle of wine, and he simply assumes it's the wine. So it could be the wine. But I thought the same thing. The very first time I saw this, I thought the same thing. I thought he cut the guy's arms off. The guy would have been bleeding profusely through the brachial arteries. I mean, there would be like a gallon of blood dumped on that floor and splattered across the cardboard boxes that would readily soak that up. It would be on the drywall. It would really be like at least a full day's worth of cleaning.
Yeah, bleaching, it was everywhere in the shot, painting. Like when she went up the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of blood. It's not like, you smother somebody, you strangle somebody, you put a pillow over their head. I mean, there's ways of doing it that like are a little bit less cleanup. You still got a body to dispose of, which you also have to wonder like, well, what the fuck happened to the 2 arms and the dude? And his leather coat, you got to get rid of all of that evidence. He took his leather coat off before he had his arms sawed off because they didn't want to fuck that leather coat up in the production. I don't blame them. The producer was like, dude, that's my leather coat. You're not cutting the arms off of that. Fucking badass leather coat.
Just have him take the jacket off when he gets in the house. It's easy.
You are not going to Mad Max my fucking code. Husband's gone. She wakes up alone. I don't know if that's significant, but...
Yeah, he goes upstairs, and then it cuts to the next morning, and he's not there.
Yeah. You still got this terrible, like, Art Deco bed, that very modern sort of, like, it's just black with that gold trim, and it's very, like, simple lines, and it's one of the... 80s. It's so 80s, but it's also hideous. Like I would never put that in my home. Like as you can see from my surroundings, my leather chair and my fireplace, I like a more rustic kind of woodsy aesthetic myself. But clearly they're supposed to be yuppies that have now, moved to this possibly malignant home.
Do you think you should be taking wine medication?
I'm not taking medication.
I'm about to say, just start drilling her the second she wakes up.
Do you think you should?
Drilling her for real or with his dick?
I think you should be taking some medication before you go to bed. I mean, it could help you with your dreams.
See that too. She has a history apparently of dreams and hallucinations.
Well, they showed the shot at the beginning when she was at the hospital, and then like her sister came to visit her, and like the one scene we really see her like acting like a crazy person.
Yeah, yeah, she was
I
kind of.
Love this. So hold on, look, you see like the light rays coming through the window, and then it's gonna cut to the next scene, and they're gonna be completely gone when he comes down the stairs.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gone.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a part of me for a long time watching this the first time that's like, she's got like dissociative disorder or something. She's killing these people and magicking someone else.
Yeah, I thought it was very much gonna take a high tension turn at one point.
Yeah. I still think that's a valid reading. Actually,
yeah,
I mean,
I still think it could be. Yeah,
you've got some explanation for like how this, like it's a real phantom of this Carpenter guy, or it's
particular spot.
Yeah, no kidding. She's like bleaching that spot. But you get the feeling that like, this Carpenter, and something I wondered today is like, the first 2 times I watched it, I thought, okay, maybe the Carpenter's a ghost. He's the ghost of this guy that the sheriff later mentions that did some violence there, and then got the electric chair, and you think, well, maybe his ghost came back to reside in the house. But then today it got me actually thinking in the kind of like Native American, kind of almost like a Shinto belief in like animism, like objects have a spirit as well as people do. So like a house, particularly one that's maybe kind of old, it's got a little history to it. Like it has a spirit of its own. And I thought maybe that the way the house manifested its animus, its spirit, was through the visage of this carpenter. Like, in order for this house to take this anthropomorphic kind of appearance and interact with this lady, it kind of became this carpenter that had previously lived there, and that's how it was able to exert its influence. And she was able to establish a relationship with the house because she takes such good care of it. After the carpenter saves her, she begins painting the walls and cleaning the windows and really like showing a lot of love to the house.
Yeah.
That, like, if it had a spirit that manifested as a carpenter, like maybe the house appreciated the care that she showed it in some weird way.
It's interesting because there's so many ways you could read into what just seems like a simple like B-movie slasher. Because I also thought, well, is he possessing her?
Yeah.
And making her do these things too.
He certainly has an influence, I think.
Does that guy look like Michael Cera to y'all?
Kind of, with a mustache. Yeah.
He's got his coffee, cigarette, and huge bottle of Pepto.
Like like a John Waters kind of.
Yeah, I like it. I use the Pepto as lube, though. Don't worry. Like, you get the sense that he's just like coffee, cigarettes, and like when he does eat, it's a hot dog. So he's like, I got the Pepto, because it's like, and I take a multivitamin. Like,
this is also a scene that kind of shows his like authoritative like power trip when he tries to tell this guy what to do and who to fire and who not to fire. He knows nothing about building houses. He was just like, find a new one. I don't want them here.
Well, it's funny because he's kind of right, because like the guy who's missing is kind of a rapist. Like, so like he's sort of, he does, like, you're right, Brian. He's a professor. Like, what does he know about like construction? Like, I'd be in the same boat. I'd be like, dude, this is not my area of expertise. Like, you hire the guys, the guys. And if they commit a crime, it's on you because you hired them. But like, he's also kind of right in that the dude who's missing was killed for trying to rape the protagonist lady.
And he's paying them to do that, and they're like over there grab-assing, not doing anything, and you're like, oh, we're behind. Well,
you have to at least look busy when the boss. Like, this is something I learned as a teenager working at a grocery store. Actually, if you walk around your workplace like with a sense of purpose, like focus, don't look around, but like look forward and walk fast. And people are like, oh yeah, he's fucking doing something. Somebody told him to take something somewhere, or he's got to go meet with someone. But like, if you're walking quickly and you're focused on what's in front of you and you're not looking around, people assume you're busy. Yep. And so like, you got to do that when the boss is looking. You're like, oh shit, like I'm busy doing something important. This is super important. But like when the guy leaves, then you can start grab-assing again.
Didn't know you had a sister. Well, sisters are nice. Nice to have somebody to talk to. But talking sisters don't sell paint, and we're here to sell paint, aren't we, Alice?
Kind of looks like he's trying to be Walt Disney.
And I work with one of the largest firms in the state.
He finds out who she is, and he's like, never mind.
Yeah.
You can talk all you want.
What kind of contract are we talking about here?
Oh, I'd say maybe 40 gallons.
You think she's bullshitting him the whole time?
I hope you mean that.
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
she's like
she's
in HR or something, but she's telling him, she's like, oh yeah, I got these contracts.
So how's my little sister doing at the job?
Yeah, I think she's bullshitting just yeah.
I think the older sister's actually hotter than the younger sister.
Oh, 100%.
And the older sister's like not bad at all. I love a fireplace, obviously, but I love a fireplace. It's very cozy. Like that would be me. I'd be falling asleep in front of the fireplace. I love a fireplace. I gotta get a gas fireplace. I got a fireplace upstairs that's like wood. It's like old-fashioned wood, but like you gotta vacuum the ash out of there, and it's a pain in the dick. And then the wood, you're always having to throw another piece on there. It burns so fucking fast. I need to get like a gas. I need to get a gas fireplace installed.
We got a few people in here. I see John Doe Juggalo in the house. Hard Becca C.
My man Jeff.
Gus in the house.
I always call him John. I know his name is Jeff. I always call him John because of his name.
Jeff is my dude. Jeff is a type 1 diabetic like me. So like fucking type 1 crew. Holla.
Why are you putting his business out there like that? Maybe he didn't want everybody to know.
No, we talk about it online. It's already public. Otherwise, I would not have revealed his HIPAA-protected information. But it's already out there on the internet. He and I have discussed it publicly and on Instagram and shiznizzle.
Look, the
Plus,
red
when you got the diabetes, when you got the beaties, you fucking turn into Wilford Brimley. You should telling everybody. You're getting on commercials and shit like, I got diabetes. You know what I mean? Like, you just fucking can't shut up about it. So.
Look at her coming out all like, it's like 3 a.m.
Oh, dude, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole fucking movie. And it's just so, like, I'm trying to figure out, and I need you guys to weigh in for me, please. Is this intentionally funny? Or is this like, they're trying to make a point and it's like unintentionally funny? Because each time it cuts back and forth between them, it's sort of standard, conversation style editing where, it goes back and forth. He's doing a different thing every goddamn time. Like he's cutting wood. Now he's nailing the two pieces together. Okay. So that makes sense, right? But watch the next cut. He's going to go from nailing these two fucking pieces of wood together. There's going to be a big orange piece of machinery that comes out of fucking nowhere, some kind of vise or something. Every time it cuts back to him, he's painting a fucking birdhouse in a second. Like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from? That's like a 50-pound piece of metal, and he's like breaking bricks apart with it.
I never noticed that.
Look, he's painting a birdhouse.
Now he's painting.
What the fuck? Every cut back, like 2 seconds later, he's doing something totally. Look, he's. I don't know what he was doing. He's splitting that fucking thing.
This adds to the is she imagining stuff?
Exactly. Like, was that supposed to be funny? Because I'm laughing. I'm actually, he's painting a fucking door. I'm pissing my pants laughing because he's got the planer out. And that door, where the fuck was that door 2 seconds ago? But so, like, obviously, like, there are intentional continuity errors here, right? Like, these are intentional continuity errors.
Yeah, it's totally done on purpose.
Yeah, that's 100% on purpose.
Definitely intentional. It's either supposed to make me laugh or it's supposed to convince us that she's fucking batshit loco in this moment. She's just imagining him doing 20 different things. It's the funniest part of this. And this movie doesn't really have that much humor in it, but that part was fucking hilarious. I laughed.
I see. You remember Scary Movie 3 where the sheriff's hat just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger in every take?
Oh yeah,
that's what that reminded me of. They're like, well, the house is done, you guys.
Hey Barswood, what the hell is this?
Do people still wrap their cigarettes in their sleeve in the 80s?
I hope so.
I definitely know that I had family members that did. I ain't gonna lie.
I feel like definitely by 1990 though, you were sticking them in the crack of your ass instead of wrapping them in your sleeve.
Say I'm gonna have to let you two guys go. Yeah, right.
Guys over here looking like Fonzie.
It's off the Fonzarelli.
You're horsing around the other day, and so, well, he doesn't want you on the.
He's like, so he saw me horsing around. It was foreplay. You can't fire me. I'm gay.
Oh, shit, Barnes. Hey, take it easy. You know.
How about that guy's hair?
The rhinestone. You're fired.
Like, it's like.
Fuck, right? Take the rest of the day paid.
He's like, take the rest of the day paid.
Look, she comes down there, the light streaming again, Brian.
Yep. It only happens when she walks down the stairs.
Maybe this is her afterlife. Her weird. The light is
maybe
like
the house isn't really that finished. Maybe it's because look how the color changed and it's all warm and homely now.
There's a scene in a moment where when he's dressed in white and she's dancing with him, that the house is fully staged, completely ready and clean. Mm-hmm. And also the carpenter is, for the only time in this film, dressed in a different outfit, and he's wearing like a white suit. He's totally clean. So it's like him and the house are definitely lockstep, and you have to wonder if she's not just imagining it. That's the dick drill scene where she wakes up, and so that whole thing might be a dream.
This fucking guy, he doesn't even have an outfit that fits him.
I love this fucking guy. I love this fucking guy. And they painted over the red finally.
Yeah, they did.
You'd think if that was actual blood from the crimes that occurred years ago, that would be the first fucking thing. Like
that shit.
Yeah, like let's fucking paint over that before the new owners take take the keys and move in.
Like, look at this
love
guy.
this guy.
Dirty.
He's got that sweat stain between the shoulder blades and
pants going up the crack of his ass.
yeah.
This is Jerry. Yes. Johnny Jones.
Again, another male character, he's not gonna exactly push her around, but he's like, let me in and I'm gonna eat your donuts and drink your coffee, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You got them little tasty cakes?
We cast a different actor who was bigger, and we can't afford to get a suit that fits you.
Yeah. Where did he took the fucking coat off and put it over the
and then
chair?
Now the shirt on the inside is too small.
He's getting awfully fucking comfy for I'm coming to introduce myself as sheriff or whatever to the new resident. Like, she shouldn't be under suspicion for anything. The guy disappeared, but it's not like what do you think? The 115-pound lady killed the fucking 210-pound contractor dude?
Yeah, just like randomly.
Yeah. This guy bought a bit of land to build a house on.
It did make me think that she was under some kind of suspicion here, but he never shows up again. He's just here for the exposition, right? Like, they just need him to come talk about the old guy who died and make us think like, oh shit, like Wings Hauser's a ghost.
I love how she just had all those donuts ready to go.
I know, the fat kid in me noticed the donuts.
That's a lot of donuts.
Dude, I love those little powdered shits too. I mean, shit.
I'm so fat. The
So
first
many
time
in my
I
ass.
saw them, I thought, oh, those are cake donuts with white frosting from the piled up high from the angle, and then I was like, it's just powdered ones.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. He kind of reminds me of a sleazy young Dennis Quaid. Not Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid.
He's got to take his gum out.
Still got his shades on.
Anyway.
He honestly seems like he's the one who's doing it. Like, he seems like he's on drugs.
Yeah, honestly, his whole exposition is my least favorite in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is needed, at least from him.
Wasn't bringing in any other money.
This could have easily been done with bringing an elderly woman or something, or somebody, or her overhearing. If she's at the paint shop and two old ladies are talking about, who moved into the new house and they don't know it's her, and she's overhearing two people talk.
Yeah. Because she's already out in the world with the paint store job.
Mm-hmm.
So. And they don't bring the sheriff back. I mean, I thought he might come back later and get.
No, he doesn't come back. He's completely irrelevant to the story.
Yeah.
Unless this was a reshoot and they realized they needed some kind of exposition.
Well, I mean, you think about it, the movie is only 86 minutes all the way through the end of the credits.
Yeah.
So if you take this 3 or 4 minutes out of here, you start hurting for runtime.
Yeah. I really feel this was added on for exposition, to either explain some stuff or to make it longer. Yeah, because I forgot it was that short.
I like them short and sweet.
Like the donuts? You like them powdery too?
I don't mind them a little powdery, especially if we're talking about booger sugar.
Booger sugar. Dude, that tea kettle, that red and white tea kettle thing.
Look, it looks like there's icing on top of cake donuts.
It really does, yeah.
I'm like, am I just that of a fat kid? I'm seeing icing where there's not even any icing.
No, because who stacks donuts like that on top of each other?
Yeah, especially those little shits that come in those are the little cheap ones that come in the little bag. Like, who's gonna open that fucking Tasty Cakes bag and let me stack these all nicely? I'll stack up these $1 donuts so they look nice. I could eat so many of them motherfuckers.
Dude, I'm gonna go to racetrack right after this. I swear to God.
Okay, that was a weird it cut from them to just the grinder to in a shot of that to in here. Didn't show the Carpenter.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
Showed his veiny ass arms. I was like, dude, I wasn't that veiny when I was on Trenbolone. Holy shit.
Barnes was got his head up his ass, right? I mean, he could have stood up for us. Now they both deserve something.
Shot is totally out of focus.
Yeah, it's soft the whole. Well, and you can tell it's hazy in there too, which makes it worse.
Yeah.
He leaned into focus right there.
Yeah. That's why it's like people are like, it's out of focus. It's like they didn't do a great. I'm like, that's not the restoration. That's literally how it was shot. Idiot.
Yeah, that drives me crazy all the time. I'm like, no, they missed focus. It was just soft there.
And then these fuckers got to break into the house.
There's every chance that they didn't have monitors either, and they just measured for focus, set their focus. Like,
this is exactly why you shouldn't be greedy. They had everything they need, but no, they wanted more. They could have got out their house right there.
Yep.
Like, no, we need to get the new tools.
One guy gets drilled through the throat, right?
mm-hmm.
That guy, I think he's the one who gets drilled through the throat with the plaid on.
And never go into a basement, bro. You know the problem with fighting in a basement? You're fighting in a basement. He's disrespectful. Oh, see, that's where he's messed up.
Yeah, you start scratching the house, you're gonna wake up.
Yeah.
Wings Hauser, look, here's your first hint.
Yep.
He's connected to the house because he got a cut.
Mm-hmm. You're
Yeesh. I like that. Shit.
Even he had to turn away.
He's like,
all right.
Come on, let's go.
I like how he staples the guy in the forehead a couple of times, and the guy just like stands still.
Like the guy.
Yeah, like he's stuck against the wall.
Everybody just stays still and waits on him to kill him.
I know. Don't fight back, even though you're a 225-pound, able-bodied young man. That also makes you wonder, like, you know, if it's really the lady who's doing all the murders and she's just imagining that it's the Wings Hauser character, then, you know, how is she able to subdue and murder with a power drill a man that's, you know, 50, 75 pounds heavier than her and a foot taller? And, you know, you've got to explain that to me somehow. I'm not entirely against female protagonists that kick ass in movies, but you have to come up with some explanation for, you know, how they're able to kick ass and not just, you know, she punches the dude and the dude falls down, because it's like they got weight classes in UFC for a reason.
I say that all the time too. I'm like, yeah, there's no way. Like,
this dude's just—he's already dead. He's just drilling.
Yeah, why does he keep drilling the holes? I can't even
she's just like,
she's just like, cool, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. You gonna clean that up, or you need to? She's smiling at him and shit. She's like, I'm gonna flirt with this dude, drilling holes in the other dude.
She didn't even notice the dead body. All she sees is him.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it right.
Messy, don't you think?
Come on down, drill some holes.
I know. I like how he starts taking that position that I'm going to take on my sloth skin rug to attract my wife. It's time to make baby number 3, baby.
You're like, honey, watch this scene and let's just reenact it. Come down the stairs, get your nightie.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the dead guy.
Take no attention to this.
I'm gonna be drilling holes in the CPR dummy full of fake blood, because that's how I get aroused.
I can totally see you playing Dr. Nurse instead of Carpenter, housekeeper.
Hell yeah.
Operation.
Yeah. Yeah, Operation, except for like I put all the pieces up my own ass and give my wife the tweezers. I'm like, you gotta get them, baby. Stimulate that prostate, girl. It's the only way we're having a third baby.
Look at her. She's like, oh, he's so dreamy. He's so dreamy.
He killed another rapist. I love it.
Like, take a look at this guy. Look, I drill him right here.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Everyone has their weaknesses.
Look, she's totally giving him signals right now.
Oh,
that
yeah.
soft spots.
Come on, big boy.
Honestly, if it cut back to her and she was like twirling her hair, I wouldn't be surprised.
She's pretty much. Look, she just gave the head tilt. She's like,
Yeah.
So what you doing?
Yeah.
Want to come up here?
Oh yeah,
Look at her.
She's totally swooning right now.
My husband's out fucking a 20-year-old. You want to come upstairs?
Anyway, I'll let you get back to your work.
Get back to your work. It's 3 a.m. You've had a long enough break.
Pleasure's all mine,
Okay, I'll see you upstairs.
He's like, dude, I'm gonna
You
hit
want to
it.
drill any more holes? I'll be right up here.
I'm tired of drilling this dude. I like to drill you.
What was the power tool budget on this movie?
We spent 95% of our budget on power tools.
But you guys,
Producer's gonna keep them all. It's just his way to write them off.
Like, I need a bunch of new tools for my work. Let's make a movie and I can write all of them off.
Exactly. Because I'm gonna build birdhouses. I don't give a fuck about movies.
Save a buck or two. Well, we're a little short-handed. Wouldn't count on it.
I'm just saying, like, that professor dude, like, I know he's shipping his student or whatever, but he does not exactly look like the type of dude. Like, I don't see him and think, like, I'm gonna fucking get all over him if I'm a chick.
Mhm.
Even if he is the professor, like, I don't think there's enough of that dynamic there. Like, you're a professor and you got hot girls in your class that are blonde haired and can pretty much point at a dude and get him to take his pants off. I don't think she's like, I'm going to go after this 40-year-old fucking college student or a college
not
teacher.
to the degree of the one that he outkicked, too. Like,
Well, I'm
I'm
saying.
sure there's still some.
but she gets pregnant by him.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
Oh,
That dude was blasting off.
whoa. Yes, sir.
Well, fuck. Like, pull out. Shit. Well,
Well, apparently nothing was happening at home for a stretch, but I can't tell if it's like if she's not like mentally there enough to do it for all this time, like back and forth, or it's just like I'm so over having to deal with this that like I don't want to.
I don't think I think she's zoned out right now.
Yeah.
she seems medicated.
These egg things always crack me up in movies. Like, who's taking the
Yeah.
time to put your boiled egg on that little thing or whatever? Like, I'm gonna eat 8 of these at a time. So what
Yeah.
are you doing? What are you doing?
I love the little egg thing. Like, I just noticed it now too. Like, I think that's the first time I noticed you get the little hard-boiled egg on the little egg stand.
You just take a spoon, crack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you gonna do that before you sit down? Put it on your plate, eat it.
That's
Like,
way too much effort. Yeah, I agree.
About to say, I've never been a person to eat breakfast like the way they eat breakfast.
I
Mm.
love
I like
breakfast,
that.
but it's almost like I love the idea. Yeah, I know, right? This is the best part. Like, go over to YouTube or make sure that the shit is covered up properly, because you could definitely see her nipples. Oof, Maron.
Mhm.
oh yeah. We
That's all I'm
skated
saying
by
is, like,
that
he
on
is-
Heist.
He is like the schlubbiest dude, and like, honestly, she looks 30. She doesn't really look like a college
Yeah.
student. She looks she's
Mhm.
29 or something. But they didn't have DNA tests back then, right? He could have just been like, "You're pregnant."
He's
I'm
like,
fucking out.
and the pants back up.
He put the pants right back on.
He's like, nope.
Job's already done. You've already done your thing.
Yeah.
You know.
It's exactly what your dick says afterward. Like, all right, my work here is done. I get hard again in a year.
Oh my.
So her sister seems like happy and glad to see her here, whereas in the beginning of the movie when she was acting batshit, her sister seemed very perturbed at their interaction.
I love how she just emasculates the husband in this dinner scene.
Yeah.
It's like they're on. Oh wait, no, he's there. Yeah.
Sky blue was often considered
Stick to beige. Stick to maybe peach for the kitchen. I like that.
Like, what are you, a fucking professor of paint, motherfucker? Shut
I was
up.
gonna say, didn't the husband and the sister have like a pre-existing relationship? Because she goes up to her later and was like, "This could have been yours" or some shit.
I don't recall.
Like, as much as this guy is like, he's cheating as a tool. Like, I'm telling you, the more I've watched it, the more I'm like, this dude is like beaten down too, though. Like,
A little bit. I think he's worn out from taking care of her, right?
Yeah, I
being
think
like
so
caretaker.
too.
Make sure she takes some meds.
In his opinion, he's like, I'm giving you this house, I'm doing all this, I've been taking care of you, and you're gonna sit here and just clown me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, it's like the ultimate like fuck the in-laws thing. Like, like fuck her mom, fuck her sister, fuck my in-laws.
And then we got this scene, and the sister's in the house. Did they ever establish? I forget. Did they establish what year it was when he? It was like years ago, like with 30s or 40s, when Cole Hauser's character, or Wings Hauser,
when he was supposed to have killed.
Yeah,
people.
yeah. When he was like alive.
If it says or not. I thought it did. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was supposed to be like way back in the 30s either, but he definitely, his look is a little bit more modern, maybe a little bit more timeless when he's got the plaid and the jeans and stuff on. He looks more like a contemporary Carpenter, but definitely in the scene where he's dressed in all white and they're like dancing and stuff, it looks a little bit more maybe old timey. You could see that being like, motherfucker's wearing a suit he stole from goddamn, what's his name? Fucking Colonel Sanders.
From Biff Tannen.
And now she's up at all hours of the night, even with her sister there, like working on the house.
Yeah, that is a little strange. Sister's upstairs just crashed out.
Like, time to drug this bitch to go to sleep.
Basically, yeah. Want to put a fucking pillow over her head. If they had the dark web back then, he would have ordered chloroform. He'd be like, hey, sniff this rack. Does it smell like chloroform to you?
You can't just get chloroform at like a CVS anymore?
I don't think so. My one of my roommates, way back when at UGA, I mean, he said you could order it. He was in a biochemistry lab, and he was like, dude, I can totally order some chloroform. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, I want to fucking hit that shit. We never ended up ordering any chloroform. That would have been fun. So he's like, it's not like the movies. You got to hold it there for like a really long time.
It's not like in movies where it works in 5 seconds.
Yeah, where you just put the rag on their face, they struggle for 3 seconds, and then they fall asleep. He's like, you got to hold it there for so fucking long. I was like, how do you know? Like, that's weird.
It's like the anesthesiologist countdown. Just count down.
He's like, you remember that time you woke up and your butthole really hurt? That was the chloroform.
That was the bulldog.
He took her pills, and now he's like.
No, I think he took his pills first. Are they separate pills?
So this is implying she's not taking her pills, is it? Like,
it sort of implies that, yeah, she's not, or this is like an Ambien, and he just,
or maybe it's his sleeping pills that he's giving her, because we've seen him take his sleeping pills before bed.
It's true.
And maybe he's just like, I got to get this chick to sleep.
Yeah.
No, he just took.
Yeah,
he's testing it. Yeah.
It's probably just his medicine. I mean, she doesn't sound like she's being allowed. Just let her do her thing and go back to sleep.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Promise me that as soon as you feel a little tired, you're going to go right up to bed.
I will. Promise. I promise.
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 Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Promise. Pro
See you soon.
Down the hatch.
She reminds me of somebody. I forget who it. Oh, she reminds me of the chick from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she reminds me of her too. Marion.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
I'll remember the actress's name like 5 minutes after we hang up.
Yeah, I know. I just totally blanked on it too.
Fucking what's her name?
Oh my god, this one's right.
If anybody brings me milk at 3 a.m. too, we're fucking fist fighting. I'm not gonna drink that shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you bringing? It's 3 a.m. Why are you bringing me a goddamn milk? Go give me a beer.
This is very. Have either y'all ever seen The Hunger?
Oh, the
With David Bowie
horror movie.
Tony Scott's vampire movie with the. Yeah. It reminds me of that with the window with the curtains blowing in the wind.
Yeah. I love David Bowie.
He died really fast in that movie. I watched Labyrinth last night for the first time in a long time.
Dude. Yes.
Karen Allen.
Karen Allen.
That's
yeah. There you go. Fucking Karen Allen. So here's the scene where, you know, she comes down and the whole living room is impeccable. It's perfect. It's like there's no construction going on at all. And as well groomed as the room is, so is our carpenter here.
And look at the machine, like the graph. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, the phonograph or whatever. He's like having to wind it.
Yeah, he's winding it. That's how old it is. You know, it's giving this very old time like.
He's got on that suit. It's like
And look, she comes down and said, "I don't think that's the same nightie she put on, is it?"
I don't know.
He's got a different hairstyle now too. His hair's not like all poofed up and wild.
Mm-hmm. He definitely looked like he's about to sell me some fried chicken for sure.
Colonel Sanders, you're wrong.
Music's lovely.
Well, nowhere near as lovely.
Look at him all nervous and shit.
I know. Kind of cute. He's rather uncharacteristically dressed.
If this is really happening, she just does not have the right level of alarm for everything that's going on with this dude. So she has to be crazy, even if it's happening. She has to still be legit crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely think he's legit crazy.
This, I think, is a dream though, because she, you know, he reveals his penis and it's a drill, and she wakes up. I think this is actually a dream. He's dressed differently too. Like every time that the Carpenter characters appeared, he's been dressed like a Carpenter. In here, he's dressed like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Just don't think about it very much.
Then when he unzips his pants and like whips it out and it starts going to zzz like a drill, that's when she's like, "Oh fuck!" and then she wakes up.
Okay, you just think about us.
Yeah, his whole hair, everything's different.
Yeah. It's that like dream logic too, where it's like, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna dance with this dude. I know my husband's asleep upstairs. My sister probably too.
I'm about to say the sister's still at the house.
Yeah, and she's still visiting.
This is all still like the same night. Like they never had the next day.
Yeah,
never showed the next day. So maybe this is the effect of the drug. Like she drank.
Yeah, it could be because she finished.
Well, her drugs are supposed to stop her from dreaming. So, or like having crazy dreams, so it definitely couldn't have been her drug.
No, it's probably his.
Woods. And I love to grow.
Every time I see his top teeth, I just think, man, them look like fucking dentures.
Every time.
I see them teeth, I'm like, dude, those look fake as fuck, man.
What else? You know what? There's always this.
Here it is.
She doesn't even run. She just stands there and screams.
Literally about to drill her. Then she wakes up. So, like, you know, it's the one indication that, like, her interactions with the Carpenter character are completely mental. They're only occurring in her head while she's sleeping.
This motherfucker ain't waking up.
That would mean she was killing people.
which, you know, how, you know, it's, you have to explain how a 110-pound woman kills 220-pound dudes that are like 30.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, maybe.
Next morning, everything's just fine.
Morning.
I thought it was weird that the sister comes into his bathroom. This is the part where like this could have been all yours.
You don't like me.
Yeah, she's just in there in the bathroom chilling while he's.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna shave your everything. Like, just leave some skin, bro.
Yeah.
Who shaves like that?
I was gonna say I usually shave in a towel, so like she might be standing there while I'm shaving. Like if that towel slips down, you're gonna see some nut. Like when I shave my face like that is a very like balls out experience for me. Like don't come in while I'm shaving unless you want to see some scrotum.
I think he's having. But you know, I'm not surprised.
He's like, oh, I nicked myself. Oh, you don't say you're shaving.
Yeah.
Nothing. Doesn't really matter anyway, does it? You gotta do something. It's not that simple. See, there's somebody else.
Her hair is like one big frizz ball.
Oh, that's great.
Really?
Who is he? Who? Carpenter. Carpenter? What do you mean? One of these kids that works in the house? It's not one of them. Well, who is he? Well, he comes to see me at night.
He kills those little fuckers.
Huh. He's been chopping those fuckers up actually.
Things around the house. I don't know. He fixes things, and when I have problems, he takes care
I
of
was going to say, am I the only one who thought when she woke up with the drill thing earlier that she was less scared and more
We were
having
talking.
a reaction?
In a dream
Let's
last
just
Ah,
say I thought
wow.
that a couple because she goes, oh, and she's like grabbing herself.
Yeah, and I mean right here she's like saying like I'm totally in love with this Carpenter dude. There's another dude,
Yeah.
and she's seen
Good.
the drill dick. If she had a really big problem with his power tool, you'd think that
Well,
she
good.
wouldn't be talking about how she wants to run away with him right now.
But you got to do something about you and Martin, okay? This is serious. Something very real.
Real?
You see how she said real?
Real. Like maybe she
Oh.
understands that her sister's.
Those pants are like 6 sizes too big,
No.
and she still had to like shimmy into them.
Yeah,
You got a
I think she did that for my benefit.
Oh, that's the photo you used right
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. Yeah. She had her shirt off. It was just the bra. I was like, yeah, buddy.
She's got the disgusted smell of fart look in that picture.
Like, I want this bitch back in this hospital.
Yeah, he's like trying to get her recommitted.
Is that what he said? I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear him talk. He doesn't say anything. All it is like the
That's
sound
what,
of the paint.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
over the paint.
If I worked at a paint shop, I'd probably be doing that too, just staring at that shit.
Yep. I'd be like trying to figure out what else I could put in there.
Oh, she's just imagining this shit too.
No, no, because when somebody comes into the store, when she goes home, she's got it all. No, she's still got it all over her.
No, I mean him talking to the guy.
Oh, him talking to. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Like
She seems progressively more unhinged here too. Like she's just wearing that red paint. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like you want to sit and have a conversation with this bitch when she's dressed like that?
I'd like to have a talk with you.
And she even antagonizes her a little bit. Like the student is like, "Well, fuck you, you old bitch." Like he's tired of your dusty old pussy, and you're like, "Dude, I would not be telling a person that looked that fucking unhinged any shit like that." I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I fucked your husband. Got a small dick, he didn't last long, and I swear I'm not pregnant. I'm gonna go now."
Do you think now that this is out there, but do you think that is like a foreshadow of her killing everybody in the house or coming in with all the blood?
I think definitely they were going for that. I mean, there's a reason why it was red paint and not blue or green or whatever. So I think
well, let me ask you, do you think the paint's really there? Because she hasn't acknowledged anything.
No, like she really didn't act like this person just came home completely disheveled, looking crazy and covered with red shit.
Well, that's what I was saying. Was she imagining all that earlier? I mean, I knew she was definitely she was imagining, dude.
And she goes back from the grocery store. Like nobody at the grocery store said anything.
I know, right?
Like covered in blood.
Like I understand. Like I've been in that spot where it's like I need groceries like now. I need to go. Like if I don't, we got like we're just out of groceries. So I like there have been times that I've been in the grocery store when, you know, but never like covered head to toe in paint. Like I would go shower and then it's not like she's got kids or dependents. Like her and her husband are childless. You can go to the grocery at 9 p.m. You can go home and shower first, is what I'm saying, and put on some non-painty clothes.
And who put all this white stuff on that?
Right? She never acknowledges the paint at all.
For you to come into my house and to drag your dirty little filth into my clean house, now that I care about.
She's talking about dragging filth into her clean house, but she the one covered in fucking paint head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, because it's not funny. You're crazy. Get out of my head. You're out of your fucking mind. Get out of my head. I'm here to tell you what's what. I need to tell your goddamn mind. Your mother sleeps around. Good, I'm crazy. Who cares if I'm crazy? Stupid shack of shit. Get out!
There's the carpenter. He's just suddenly there.
Yep.
At least he's not painting a birdhouse.
Y'all notice how it went from day to night? That's nighttime right now.
Yeah, back and forth.
I'd rather use the hammer.
Now, see here, Jason, like this makes me think that the house itself is possessing these people, including the carpenter.
Yeah.
Because he killed people to start with that messed up his house and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, right? So, and then she's like freaking out about that. And then she goes, bringing nastiness, messing up my house, and goes and kills her. And the carpenter shows up too. It's like, are we dealing with, is it more about the carpenter, or is this like a evil house, like Amityville style?
I feel like you're onto something there. I feel like the house it's almost more like I'm starting to think that it's not like the carpenter is the ghost of this formerly alive human being who also did crimes there. I'm starting to think that the ghost, not a ghost, is a manifestation of the house who's just has to take on some anthropomorphic appearance in order to interact with like her and other people. And so it's just choosing to take on the appearance of this carpenter that formerly resided there. And so it's having this effect on her, obviously. And maybe like she was susceptible because of her psychiatric whatever.
That's a sick pervert.
Kind of like The Shining or Amityville horror, where it like just keeps on and on and on and on until like you do what it wants you to do.
Yeah. I'm starting to take that kind of take on it, I think.
Mister, that is a lady you're smacking.
There we go.
I'm gonna put your fucking head in a vice.
But then that would mean she's having to do this, right? Or there is just like actually a demon ghost in the house.
Yeah, like the house really is able to do physical shit vis-a-vis some, apparition.
Now, smart asses like this always have, always will. Oh yeah, you got a smart ass.
Or is she seeing like her, is it still her doing it's there's a lot of ways you can go into it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your big brain ideas and your big brain.
That would be a shitty way to go.
That would be a shitty way to go.
I can promise you those wouldn't hold my hands down to the ground, even if I had to rip my hands through them if somebody's trying to squeeze my head like a potato there.
He just walks out like, I ain't dealing with this shit right now.
Yeah.
Lets her alter ego do it.
So he's dead. You see all the blood right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of blood.
I'm just gonna have a shower.
I know, right? She's like, well, I'm gonna go get clean now. Not before the groceries.
Not
Before
before.
murdering people.
No, not while she was sitting there dead. She was just sitting there drinking her tea.
I know.
They could have at least shown some kind of nudity in the scene.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're very light on that in this movie, which is very surprising.
For a Vinegar Syndrome, yeah.
And just for a slasher type horror, lower budget horror movie of this era, lower budget horror in general.
Especially when there's only like she's like the only female character in the movie. There's only like 3 female characters in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of friendly nudity from the
student, yeah.
Student, yeah. She was wearing that lingerie, and you could see the nips, but it wasn't. Again, it was relatively tasteful for this type of production.
It's almost like this was like a TV movie because even with the blood, you don't really.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that because they like all of the kill scenes they had to put back in. They weren't in there, and I keep thinking if those scenes weren't in here, what the hell did you watch?
I know, right?
I thought that way about what was it? I was watching the Poison Ivy 4, which was like a Hallmark or Lifetime movie, but it was unedited. But that movie was full of nudity. I'm like, wait, so what did people watch on the TV cut? Did you like watch it? Like all I kept thinking was, like, what if you were like a 13-year-old girl or something? You watch this movie, Sorority Sisters. You loved it. You buy the DVD, and it's like, oh god, there's so much nudity in here. I didn't watch this movie.
No. Unless, of course, somebody was in make trouble. Right?
Now she sees him
here. Yeah, it's almost like he can only be seen when because the husband saw him.
Yeah. So I mean, if the other people are seeing him, whether he's ghost, demon, or whatever, he exists. He's not just in her head for sure.
Deserves what he gets from a guy like me.
Because that's also a thing where he's never shown up without her being there.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're absolutely right. You just stay here, okay? Because we're gonna go.
No, I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I tell you what, if you want to go, you go. But Alice and me, we got this.
We got a thing going on.
We're gonna go. You just stay back.
We're not going to go now. And I wish you quit repeating yourself to me.
Well, Jason, we established that he's not just in her head because her sister and her husband both saw him and are interacting
That is true.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
presumably, every one of his victims was able to interact with him as well when they got their arms chopped off or their.
Get away from us! You're an asshole! You're just like Martin! You're an asshole! You're a pig!
Could you imagine him shoving her through the wall and then the wall breaking? Like, what happens to him?
yeah.
I would guess he doesn't enjoy it. There's a part where he's chasing the main character in a minute. He's in order to get at her, he's got to knock the handle off the door, and he does it. But then he like winces. It cuts to him like I didn't like doing that, but
Yeah.
had to do it. So I don't know.
That was pretty damn good.
Do you think it's kind of like, did y'all ever see Rose Red?
Oh yeah, I love Rose Red.
Where the house keeps growing and growing, and it's the house.
It's a goddamn house.
See?
The house, it's you!
See, that makes you seem like he's trapped too there by the house.
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah. Like it's the house. The house is
Mhm.
God.
Look, and every time she hits the house, he's grabbing himself. Every time she hit the house with a hammer, he was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point too where her sister wakes up and she yells at the sister. She says, "It's the house. Strike the house or hit the house."
Yeah.
That's how you heard it.
Right there, she hit him in the head. It did nothing, but when
It
he hit
did,
the wall,
did nothing. Yeah, exactly.
when she hit the wall, it hurt.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I never noticed that little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice the stairs reacting to like he was being hit with the hammer when she was hitting the wall either.
Yeah.
He's definitely I think he is a manifestation of the house.
Yeah, because at the end when they get rid of him, when the sister comes down, she goes, hit the wall. It's a house.
Yeah.
That's how they get.
Like this is his private, or it's like part of his private hell because he did seem like he's stuck there.
Yeah, because he blames the house at one point as if it's a separate entity than him.
Yep.
If he was a manifestation of the house, then he would refer to like it's me. I'm the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's trapped there.
I think he's trapped there. He's tied to it now.
Like almost like The Shining, like when you see the picture of Jack Nicholson at the very end, and he's like part of the Overlook Hotel now, even though he's dead. You get the idea that he's been kind of absorbed. His spirit or whatever is now permanently stuck there. Mm-hmm. That could be the case of the Carpenter as well. It would have been more the case if he died there. Didn't he get the electric chair or something?
I don't remember.
I think so.
Well, they said they gave him the electric chair. So if he dies, like, in some other state at some penitentiary, at some federal penitentiary in like Missouri or something, then it's not as, you don't feel like he's going to return to the house as much as like if he dies at the house or on the grounds, it's like, oh, you're trapped there now.
Yeah, Becca, I was thinking that too earlier, but like the fact that other people talked and interacted like this with him, like it has to be. Yeah, see, she's hitting the house. Yeah.
This scene always reminded me of Conan the Destroyer when he goes to the magician and he has to break all the windows of the mirrors.
Yeah, because he can't do anything against the magician, but as soon as he starts busting up the mirrors, then the cuts start appearing on the like weird monster thing, a mongoloid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought of that too when I was watching this. It's like, oh shit!
See, they're bringing him down by messing up the house. But yeah, I think you're right. Like with the Shining thing, if it drove her to kill, then she'd be attached to it too and stuck there too.
Yeah, or if she died there. I mean, she did seem to have a hand in the nail death murder of the pregnant girl, which is that's kind of a heinous thing to do. Like that adds the extra wrinkle of she's pregnant when you murdered her, so that's like sort of 2 for 1.
Yeah, and see, they set the house on fire. It makes him go on
fire. And he catches. Yeah.
But that's why I said she can't leave. She's a part of it too. So she would have been stuck there with him.
Yeah.
Same thing would have happened. This, by the way, is one of the longest on fire scenes I've ever seen.
I'll say you can see all the the protective goo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Gee, this dude's just like walking. That's crazy, him crawling on the ground, because that's a whole sign to let the people know to put you out when you get on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you know when he stopped acting?
Yeah.
I love this. I thought you'd be more of a gentleman, Ed.
Yeah, that last line of the movie, the last piece of dialogue is you should have been more of a gentleman. And it's like, I guess that's a little on the nose for the message of the film, that it's like sort of a feminist thing.
Yeah.
So like all the dudes basically just fight over like possession of her for the entirety of the film. Like, if it's not the husband trying to control her, it's
the house even.
The house, yeah, even the house. Or one of the contractors is trying to get up in that. And it's just it's interesting at the end, she's got to burn the thing down and walk away with her sister, and
When did this movie come out? Was it the 80s or the 90s?
88.
88?
Yeah, 88. 1988. And
Stanley, as in the power drill.
Yeah, I kind of think, maybe the whole thing was like a power fantasy on her part,
It could have been.
Well, that's what Becca said in the comments. The mind is
I
a
agree with
thing.
Becca.
She might have been imagining the whole damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, if the whole thing is imaginary, that explains a lot of the sort of inconsistencies. And
it starts out with her going to the hospital.
Yeah. So what if the whole thing was the hospital? She never got out.
Yeah.
Like her being released from the hospital involved the guy chainsawing her leather cuffs off, and then cut to her walking out of the room with her husband. I mean, maybe the whole thing was just, fever dream.
Well, and she went. There was like that strange scene where something like popped up in the hospital, where behind them, and nobody saw it, and it was
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you could, man, you could have just totally messed with everybody if you'd have just showed something at the end about like the hospital at all. You would have
yeah, because they show that scene of, I mean, well, I guess it was all in her imagination with the husband talking to the doctor. Maybe she thought she was gonna get recommitted, so she was just like, "Fuck it." By the time that girl got there, she was just because if you noticed, all the furniture had the stuff on it as if nobody had been there.
Yeah,
all the white stuff.
Covered up.
Yeah, it was covered. Yeah, and it was not covered any other time in the movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm never gonna be able to watch that scene now that you pointed out his tools change every time.
I fucking laugh so hard every time I watch that because I'm like, every cut back to him, he's like doing something else. Like I'm just
I never noticed that.
He's like blowing bubbles or something. Like it just gets more nonsensical. He's like, is he painting a fucking birdhouse? Like what the fuck? That shit killed me. But it's like really the only funny part of the movie. Like there's maybe one or two other like parts that you might giggle, but like they play it pretty straight in that film as ridiculous.
I never caught that before. I was like, that's
but it also shows that it like the sort of surreal nature of it. Like it's like a dream thing, like where you're where you're dreaming and you walk from your kitchen and you're like in Fantasia and the next step, like, and then you're back in your bedroom. Like that's how it's weird crap like that.
Yeah. It is that strange dream. I mean, the fact that the movie was so like straight and there wasn't a whole lot of comedy there, that's what really made me feel like that one scene that made me laugh was maybe it wasn't there to make me laugh. Like maybe it was there to, like you said, Chase, like it's supposed to show sort of like dreamlike inconsistencies where, you can just be like all this weird stuff and you just accept it in your dreams, but like that dream logic. But if the movie had been more funny, like at the beginning and end and stuff, I would have thought like that's actually kind of a funny bit, but it seemed more like it was supposed to do something else. Like there was another reason for it.
Do you think the husband should have died like with more something like to his nuts?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, the more I watch it, he's a dick, but I see him more sympathetic figure a little bit more because if she's this crazy, he's been dealing with that for a minute. I mean, you come home and your wife's like, "Oh, look what I did to your suit, honey." You're like, "Hey, what might she do to other things while I'm asleep?" Maybe no wonder he needs sleeping pills. You're like, I can't go sleep next to her.
Yeah, you like hide the scissors, dude. Like I'm not going to sleep without accounting for all of the fucking box cutters and shit like that. Like, I'm gonna wake up with a knife to my throat and she's just slowly jerking me off.
Like the scissors, like, and it's sort of the same thing. Like too for now, like I didn't want to like the girl that comes there, the student and gets killed. Like that's a brutal way to go and everything, but like. The same as in What Lies Beneath. If you like went into with a married professor and a sexual, like just to have sex, sexual relationship, and you get overly attached, and then all of a sudden you start showing up at his house and you're I'm gonna tell everybody, I'm gonna ruin you. It's a little like she has more cause in this if she's pregnant than the girl is implied in What Lies Beneath. She's just like head over heels in love and attached. But like you start showing up, I'm gonna ruin your life. I'm like, wait, you knew dude was married and all that stuff to start with. But it was like we need to have this kill of this chick, so she's got to show up at the house. She's got to
go to the house to get killed. Yeah, I think like one of the things that people oftentimes say, don't stick your dick in crazy. That's something that gets spread around the world a lot. That, men, don't stick your dick in crazy. But I think what this film really shows you is don't cheat on crazy. Like even worse than sticking your dick in crazy is like if you've stuck your dick in crazy and you've married crazy and you've bought a house in the countryside with crazy, don't cheat on crazy, because that's even worse than putting your dick in it. She'll kill you.
Oh yeah, that's even worse.
Like
I'm surprised he didn't do anything.
My first thought is like, why didn't he just, leave? But then, like, if he loves her and he felt guilty and like, I'm gonna leave her and like I'm her caregiver, and her sister's kind of a douche canoe to start with, so it's like you almost couldn't have counted on her for anything.
Yeah, but I think the sister and her relationship was really good. That the sister could have taken care of her, because the sister and her really seemed to have a bond.
Yeah, and it seemed like the sister also was, responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So you could imagine like a behavioral health, inpatient, sort of residence would release her to her sister's care and say, okay, go with your sister, particularly if the husband's exacerbating her mental health issues. Like if that's not a good relationship, then, you take this person in, you work with her, you adjust her medications, and after a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you got her feeling good again, you're going to discharge her. You don't want to discharge her like right back into the same environment that sort of causes the dysregulation, because she's just going to come right back. Or hurt herself or something like that, or others. And
I have noticed I have this weird like empathy thing that I'll go through a lot of times with different characters in movies, where I will kind of like experience like my thought process if I were each different one of them. And it's like, it kind of will give you a different, and maybe that just comes from writing stories, because you kind of have to do that if you're writing. But like, I don't know. It's like I can see all of his struggles, and then I can see like hers. It's like he's her lifeline. She's going through all this. She's terrified, everything else. And then you can also see, even though I think it's stupid you got involved with a married man and all, like way older and all that kind of stuff, you can also see that from her vantage point. And then you start to see, it's like I with What Lies Beneath last night, I got up, I was like, hadn't seen this in a long time, but I realized there's nobody completely innocent in that movie. And it's the same thing here. There's none of those main three are completely innocent in any way, shape, or form. And then you have this house that's playing on her too, trying to possess her, the Shining style, like Brian said, working on her and everything else. So it's you've got a lot going on. Then you got these stupid ass carpenters outside that aren't doing anything. So there's a lot happening.
Go home with pay. I know, right? Like
go home with pay. Yeah.
I mean, like, who does, like, what like contractor is like, I'm gonna hire these guys, and if they suck, I'm gonna send them home, but I'll still pay them? Like, that shit is Canada, like,
I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's wild. So I honestly think, like, maybe as I've watched this movie more and more, there's some there are very valid different readings to it. There's also enough ambiguity that sort of like whatever you want to project onto this thing, you might be able to make it work. It's actually kind of an interesting film, having watched it a few times now. I actually kind of dug it. Like, it's a good showcase for Wings Hauser too, even though he doesn't have a ton of screen time. He's actually acting and not just like yelling or acting crazy.
Well, I'll be honest. On the strength of this movie, I had never seen Vice Academy. I bought that 4K, and then now, after Daniel mentioned that movie Mutant today and he showed clips, I'm like, crap, that one looks really good too, because I like small town horror stuff, and like he's like the lead guy, and they're in this small town, and it's becoming overrun with kind of like zombies, but they don't know what's happening to it, and they're in the middle of this town in the nowhere.
I gotta check that one out.
Yeah,
I like the small town shit too. I mean, there's plenty of like urban horror as well, but there's just something about a small town, sort of secluded, sort of it just makes it better. Like
there's a believability to it. I think that it's easier for your brain to imagine that these small towns that nobody's heard of in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, or in the flyover states or whatever, that some of this shit could still really be happening, because there's not people everywhere.
Especially if you're watching some movie that's from the 80s, it's from decades ago, pre-internet, so you don't quite have that level of of global communication where someone in a small town could record something with their iPhone and then put it right up on and then everybody sees it, it goes viral. When it's still like, okay, no one's got cell phones and you're in this small town, you're still sort of secluded enough from the world. Like you're like an island unto yourself and you're like broken away from the rest of humanity, that this stuff could be happening. And it's not like the president is going to get briefed on it, right? Like no one knows. Like the zombie outbreak could go for a couple of days before people in New York or Atlanta or something find out about it. I like that too. I mean, there's just something cozy, I think, about the small town. Even something kind of rural like this, where it's like sort of a house. It's not in a neighborhood or a subdivision of development. It's like sort of out on its own with acreage and apparently some kind of pond or river. It's like when you're out there, you're just sort of on your own, and whatever happens, you sort of got to face it without the infrastructure of like 911 and ambulance.
Well, yeah, it's like I realized, I heard something. You'll get a kick out of this because you went to Georgia recently. Like I heard Georgia's new quarterback Gunnar Stockton, like these places still exist. Like growing up, I forget what town he's from in very rural Georgia. He talked about how they had basically no internet connection. Yeah. Like they had almost no internet, and they didn't have, their cell phones didn't work. So he and his friends talked to each other still with CBs and walkie-talkies. Like, cool. And it's not, you're talking about just a couple hours or so outside of Atlanta. You still have places like that, and it's like, yeah, shit like that could go down before anybody would know.
Oh yeah. There's just something. Yeah, there is something like almost a romantic notion of that, where you're like, you can just imagine shit like that happening. It's always pretty cool. So, final word. We're at 2 hours. Final word on the Carpenter. Anything you guys want to close with?
I think it's one of the best. Like, I want to say blind buys or movies, because I bought it after I saw it because you sent it to me, but it was an instant. Like, and yeah. I don't have that experience a lot with Vinegar Syndrome. I think most people think of Vinegar Syndrome as just, what is this low budget shit? It's like some of it's actually pretty good, and this actually surprised me. Like I've seen it multiple times. I got the Blu-ray coming in tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow again, probably. Get it.
So for me, as far as that, like the Carpenter, the friggin' Nesting and Blood Tracks have just been fun winners.
I like Blood Tracks a lot too. Blood Tracks was just.
This one I wasn't expecting this one to be this good either. And the Carpenter, I knew nothing about this one at all.
I knew nothing about it either, but I did know from it seemed interesting from the trailer, at least. As soon as I saw the trailer for the Carpenter on Vinegar Syndrome's website, there was something about the look of the film, like the restoration. It just looked good to me.
Yeah, with that 70s, like, good 4K, saturated, desaturated, clean again, that you've been liking, you'll like that, Brian. Even though it's like 81, still has that. Yeah. God, I watched Stripes last night. That's from 81, and you would swear that's 70s. Like, 100%. You'd swear that.
I love that, like, early 80s vibe. There's definitely, like, we think about a previous decade as if it's, like, one thing. You just think, like, oh, 80s, like Madonna and, like, all the fucking fashion and crazy shit and, the certain type of music. But it's like, when you really take a fine-tooth comb and crazy shit and... Holy cow.
I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing.
I thought like I was having an acid flashback. I was like, oh fuck, like the shrooms kicked in. Those are supposed to wait till I lay down and go to sleep. But so like it's kind of fun when you go through with a fine-tooth comb and you watch stuff. You don't just watch like the highlights. You watch like a lot of people just, oh, the 80s, I love Back to the Future, I love the Goonies, but they just hit those like real surface level, like top 6 movies or whatever. But when you really dig through and you're like, I'm gonna watch the Carpenter and I'm gonna watch the Nesting, and like you really go through and you understand that there's like hundreds, especially 80s, like they blew up because so much of the stuff was just gonna go to home video because they had that voracious appetite by the middle of the 80s for like home video shit. Like there's hundreds of productions every single year for 10 years. You can see how they go from like 1980 is like 81. This stuff was being produced in the 70s. And so it's still very 70s, even though it came out in 80 or 81, and how it sort of like even just rewatching something like the Friday the 13th series of films, because that pretty much spans the whole 80s decade. You watch the first one and then don't watch anything in between and pop in part 8 where he takes Manhattan, and you're just like, what the fuck? How is this even the same franchise? This is ridiculous, because it just slowly morphed. And that's something I really love about like taking a decade and like I have like 500 movies from this decade, and I can like pop in a 1980 movie and I can pop in an 89 movie and see like that decade that we think of as this monolithic thing is really, there's like a lot of shit that like culturally happened over a span of 10 years. It's wild.
Yeah, a lot. And usually like very heavily iconic decades, like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they bleed into the first 2 or 3 years of the following decade. That kind of stopped a little bit when it went from the 90s to the 2000s and 2010s to like the 10s.
There was a big jump between, like, I would say it started in 99, that whole jump, because that was kind of the rebirth of teen comedies, and then they switched to like a different look. Like a movie from 98 and 2002 looked nothing alike.
Yeah.
Nothing alike.
I feel like that was maybe your cusp of where it went from like, we don't really have the digital technology to do this at a level of production that's like theatrical, to like, okay, in 2002 we just barely do, and it's maybe not that great yet, but like fiscally it makes sense. And so like come 2002, 2003, it's like we'll shoot some stuff digitally, like little lower budget, and you have like maybe a little bit of a different look, maybe a cheaper look to it.
I don't even think that. I think a lot of it's the music, like the MTV stuff. Like a lot of that influence on movies were made too. The editing and the whole like MTV style music video style of filmmaking at that time period. That just didn't really exist. I mean, MTV was around back in the 80s, but it didn't really influence.
You watch 70s and 80s movies particularly, and they stayed on shots. They stayed on shots. They had the patience to stay on shots. That's why you hear me so many times now say, shot like a fucking music video, and I can't stand it because it's constantly cut around and styled, everything else. There's like a whole scene that goes on for like 4 or 5 minutes in The Karate Kid where they're in there and he's just carved pumpkins and they're having this discussion. It's one shot the whole time. It's one shot. It subtly moves in about halfway through it, but nobody would ever do that today. But it's part of what gives the aesthetic of those movies that make them look different than a lot of movies today.
Hell yeah.
So I think that's like a time capsule you look back in, even from filmmaking standpoint.
Yeah.
Like you pointed out in this movie where she's walking down the steps.
Yeah.
Going into the basement early in the movie, it has this side shot and lets her walk completely down in frame, all the way down the stairs slowly, and doesn't cut away until she starts to turn around the corner to go into the other room. But it builds a lot of suspense, and it's cool to look at.
It is fun. It's nice to look at, and I think, I don't know. There's something about like the real, like sort of like rapid cuts and fast pace that, like it sort of gets people through, and it's sort of like, I don't know. People look back. I think a lot of younger people look back at older films like this one and maybe older and think, oh, it's too slow. It's slow paced and it's too slow. But I think the idea is that I think you can come to appreciate. It's like you got to get a taste for it, but I think you can come to appreciate like lingering on something for a moment, that you can like visually, you can take it in and you can make note of compositions and stuff like that. Where, if it's just kind of coming at you really fast and it's like whiz bang explosions, shooting, you don't really get to appreciate so much like those like kind of quieter moments that more like, this camera's going to track and follow her down, keep her in frame. There's stuff between her and the camera, so you've got this sort of like depth of field that's created by having these layers here, and there's just something that's a little bit more, I guess, artistic about that. And
it's hard to do that now, though, because people are so used to, especially if you're like 15 to 30 years old or so, you're used to watching everything in 15, 30, or 60-second bites. And that's what you're used to. So you have a shot that lingers like that. What the fuck, we just watching her feet walk downstairs? That movie was boring.
I worry about these kids these days because like my kids will be watching something. I honestly don't like if my kids want to watch a film, like a motion picture, I'm all about it, because then you have this it's a story, there's art, there's imagination. But when it's like, I just want to look at like YouTube shorts, and they'll select something, and then like literally 3, 2, 1, okay, next thing. And it's like, you can't even watch that thing for 30 seconds. Like, that's not even enough time to set up a punchline to a joke. You really, like, you've got to give the person at least, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That could be the funniest thing you've seen all day. But if you just do this 3 seconds in, the funniest motherfucker in the world, George Carlin, couldn't make you laugh in 3 seconds. You got to give him a second to set it up. But I mean, it's like, okay, I don't want to look at this. Okay, I don't want to look at this. And it almost like cheapens the whole thing, where it's like,
yeah,
if it's just that disposable that you can, it's like you take one bite out of a meal and you just throw the whole thing away. And it's like, I've never been, it just seems so wasteful. Cat, hey.
All right, well, I get I'm sure you guys probably get it too. Like, I'll get it on my videos. Like, well, this video could have been a third of the time. Just say it like it's a blog. Just say the 10 movies or whatever you're talking about. Like, we don't want to hear you talk about it. What the fuck are you doing here? Like, we're here to discuss this. Like, go read a blog, skim through something else. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're complaining about runtime on a video you saw the runtime for before you clicked it.
I know. It is kind of wild, but people want it to be short and quick, and it's like, well, what are you in a hurry for? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, if I make a 30-minute video 10 minutes, what are you gonna do when you get your 20 minutes back? What are you gonna do? Like, you're watching YouTube. You're literally waiting to die. Like, this is like, what do you do? Like, when you're in a waiting room at a doctor's office and you're sitting there for 15 minutes, you're looking at your phone, you're scrolling Instagram, you're looking at YouTube or whatever. You're like waiting to get into the waiting room or waiting to get in to see the doctor. And it's like, what are you doing when you're like laying on your couch and you're just like doom scrolling, just Facebook, YouTube shorts, reels, etc.? You're literally just waiting to die. You're like just going to entertain your brain so you don't have to think about your mortality in this quiet moment. And you're just like, let me just pass the time between now and some point in the future when I'm dead. I need something to pass the time. I can't just meditate quietly for a few minutes. Like, I can't take 10 minutes to like deep breathe and do some Chinese meditation and get a little Zen in my life. I don't know. I could go on about that. It has nothing to do with movies, but.
Well, what makes me a little happy, and it's probably all Vinegar Syndrome people, but like this actually has a 5.0 rating now on IMDb. Yeah. The Carpenter does, which is pretty good, particularly for a horror movie like this. It's pretty good,
especially when it's probably been. Has this ever had like a DVD? Or I know it's the first time
I believe it had a DVD release from. God, who the fuck put it out? It had a DVD release. The inside cover is the same cover as the DVD. They used this. They use that for the DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw it online when I was looking for pictures. So it's out there, but it's old. I think it only got one DVD release. So
I was gonna say, this feels like a movie that would have been like stuck on VHS or something.
Yeah.
Well, dude, one of the first user reviews. So dull and slow.
Yeah.
Can't help people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Have y'all seen the poster that Amazon has on Amazon Prime has? It's got like her standing in front of like the Nightmare on Elm Street house or something, and then it looks really.
Oh,
there's a poster. There's like a German poster, or the cover of a German release of this, where he's like in his white outfit, and there's like smoke leading up. It looks like he's like, I don't know, a demonic apparition or possibly a genie coming out of a lamp. And I really love that one. It's kind of silly, but it looks like he's like coming out of like some smoke or something like that. It's pretty bad.
I was about to say, this US release makes it look like it's like a horror version of Footloose. Like, what's his name's character in Footloose with the overalls and everything? He looks like he's dancing in the pose.
So the official synopsis for this says, a mad woman and her cheating husband hire men to fix up their new house. Mysterious carpenter Ed becomes her new guardian angel, but he's actually an executed killer whose spirit has returned to finish the dream house he once started rebuilding.
Okay.
I mean, some of that's correct.
Yeah, it's about as valid as anything I've said in the last 2 hours.
I love the tags in this: ghost in love with a woman, slasher, supernatural killer, haunted house, arms cut off.
That's arms cut off. I love that.
Arms
Hashtag
cut off.
Arms cut off.
Like, who's looking for tag arms cut off? Or
like that.
ghost in love with a woman, for that matter.
I was not sold until you told me ghost in love with a woman and arms cut off. Like, that's the magic combo. That's the secret sauce. You bring those two things together. It's like Patrick Swayze and fucking Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore, except motherfucker's also going to get his arms cut off. Now I'm in.
Now I'm in it.
Well, on Vinegar Syndrome website, it says enjoyable, but would have leaned more into heavy horror over humor.
Over humor?
Over humor. Was like, did they see more funny things? And I just saw that one thing that you had to point out to me.
I still haven't found anything else that's particularly funny.
I didn't see a lot of funny there, Chuckles. I didn't.
A screwball slasher that drew a screwball slasher.
See, you know what though? This is the prop. People again, and I'm just the old guy yelling at the cloud, I guess. But like, they're so headline and surface. They're about as deep as a frisbee. They wouldn't stay with us on any of these possible possibilities that we went, because they're just like, oh, there's a ghost in there. No killings happening. There's no boobies. There's not fast cuts. Where is everything?
I have been watching this movie for 6.5 minutes, and I haven't seen a tit or a fucking decapitation yet. I'm out. Okay. Yep. My Friday evening this is valuable time for me, and I need something with a titty, maybe two, and a decapitation in the first 7
Now, I will say they could have added the titties in the shadow. They had a couple spots where they could have added those in to help those people out.
Yeah, a body double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard somebody complain about a titty? Not even my gay bros can complain about titties. And I got gay bros, and they're like, dude, those are nice titties. Like,
everybody loves titties. Yeah,
everybody loves titties. They give life. That's the thing. They're like metaphor.
I love this headline on Vinegar Syndrome. Somebody was trying to be cheeky, and they go, couldn't quite nail it.
I see what they did there. That's clever. That could be the way to wrap this thing up, because if I don't go, I'm going to piss my pants in about 35 seconds. So would you gentlemen like to maybe tell the world where they can find more of you if by some odd chance they're not already subscribed to the both of your channels?
You can find me at onlyfans.com/lastmoviestanding.
You see them titties?
I sell feed shots. You find me at ABA Pop Culture on here on the tube, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you gentlemen very much.
I take my
do this again. I want to say we'll do it again next month, but who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Peace. Thank you guys for checking out the stream. Peace.